Tunasikika vijijini, mijini na hata jijini kukuletea taarifa mchana kutwa. Usiku tunaketi kitako, tunadadavua tukichanganua taarifa na makala muhimu yanayokuhusu wewe na familia yako. Ungana na Bernard Ngozi kwenye Open Forum Political Show kuanzia saa 4 usiku hadi dakika zake kila siku ya wiki kwenye
Oh, sorry for that. Good evening and good afternoon from wherever you're watching us. Welcome to Sound Candid Talk, Open Forum Political Show, the show that gives you an in-depth analysis of our politics and current affairs and to make sense of them and how they affect us as Kenyans and global citizens. Now, it's 12:51 a.m. in the morning here in Nairobi, and I'm Douglas Amboga. Welcome to the show. Now, I'll start with asking you to subscribe to the channel as usual. Like this video and share it out. Keep liking the video and share it out. And remember to subscribe to the channel and be part of the Sound Candid Talk family. Now, tributes continue to pour in for legendary journalist Leonard Mambo Mbotela, who passed on today in Nairobi at the Nairobi Hospital at the age of 85. We'll be looking at his impact in especially the journalism field and our society in general. And, I'll be waiting to hear from you what you remember about him and his legendary show that people have been talking about, Je Huni Ungwana, and the slogan that is popular and people remember him for. We'll be looking at that, and I'll be looking at some of the message of condolences and reminisce from Kenyans, both political leaders and other leaders in our society and Kenyans in general. In other news, the courts have ruled that the Kenya Kwanza alliance is not the majority party in parliament. We'll be delving into that to find out how does that affect our political landscape, how does that affect our legislation, and that also forms my poll question tonight. I'm asking you, do you believe the court ruling that Kenya Kwanza is not the majority? I do believe the court ruling that Kenya Kwanza is not the majority will lead to more balanced legislation. Do you believe the court ruling that KK is not the majority will lead to more balanced legislation? I'll be waiting to hear that from you. 67% of you say yes, and 33% of you believe that will not help the legislative house in any way. Engage with me in the comment section. Come into the studio. Let's talk, have a conversation about this, and see where that leads us. Make sense of it. Does that impact the legislation in the past in the past 2 years that we've had this government? We've had this sort of executive imposing policies and legislations on parliament, and they've been working in cahoots to just pass laws, pass policies, pass legislations without them really going through the process of debate and the entire process that we expect a sober parliament to take some of these policies through, just to make sure that they are intended for the good of Kenyans. And I'll be waiting to hear what you think about that. In other news, the Trump administration has given a limited waiver allowing critical life-saving programs under the recent lifting of the USAID program to continue. Now, HIV-related services funded by the USAID will continue for a while. We'll get that story to get the correct details later on in the show. But for now, we look at Leonard Mambo Mbotela. Let's take a look at this story. Then when we come back, I'll be sending out the link and waiting for you to come into the studio. Click on that link. Let's StreamYard, configure your mic, your camera, and you are going to find yourself in this studio and have the conversation with me. But in the meantime, you can continue engaging with me in the comment section. And when I come back, I'll read out some comments. I can see Tuni Muhammad is already there asking you to subscribe and share and join the show. So in the meantime, let's take a look at our top stories tonight.
And on a somber note, tributes continue to pour in for veteran journalist Leonard Mambo Mbotela. Kirui has more.
Nauliza, baada ya kuona msichana au mama au mwanamke amevaa nguo fupi, tena wanaenda kumkera na kumsumbua na maneno na kumfuata kutaka kumtongoza na kumtomasa, ni ungwana?
He captured the hearts of many with his charismatic, captivating voice, effortlessly engaging audiences through his insightful and educational radio and television programs that spanned over 5 decades. His Je Hu Ni Ungwana segment, both on radio and TV, became a beloved fixture, renowned for its powerful educational messages that resonated with generations of Kenyans.
Vaa mavazi ambayo yatakupa heshima hata wewe mzee. Na huo ni ungwana. Nakuuliza, nyinyi wazee wa makamu, nyinyi wazee ambao mngefaa kuheshimiwa, kuitwa babu, kuitwa baba, kuvaa mavazi ambayo yanavaliwa na vijana.
Mbotela's lively football commentaries on radio further defined his vibrant career, cementing his reputation as one of the most influential broadcasters in the country. One of the defining moments of Mbotela's career came during the 1982 coup, when, at gunpoint, rebel soldiers ordered him to announce through the Voice of Kenya, now KBC, that President Daniel Moi had been overthrown, a chilling chapter in Kenyan media history.
This is the Voice of Kenya, Nairobi. The time now is 14 minutes past 6. You are hereby informed that a curfew everybody should be what? Everybody should stay at home. There should be no movement in town. The government has now been taken over by the military until further notice.
Following his passing, family, relatives and friends gathered at his Nairobi and Mombasa home where he was born to mourn his passing. His family described his demise as a shock.
Leo asubuhi kama saa 3 hivi tukapata habari kwamba amewekwa oxygen na yuko katika hali mbaya zaidi, lakini tuzidi kumuombea. Baada ya nusu saa tu tukapata habari kwamba kaka amelala.
Mtu ambaye alikuwa anapenda mambo yanyoroshwe, living right. Kwa kizungu ningesema it was like a moral cop, you know, somebody ambaye alikuwa anapenda maadili, mtu aishi maisha mazuri. And also what I'd say stands out, he was a very, very jovial person. Ukienda naye hata kama ulikuwa downcast, angekuinua.
President William Ruto paid a tribute to Mbotela on Friday, describing him as a gifted and influential broadcaster whose alluring voice dominated the airwaves, particularly through his first-class football commentaries and the signature Je Hu Ni Ungwana program. Former President Uhuru Kenyatta remembered Mbotela as a legendary media personality whose immense contribution to the country's media landscape would forever be cherished by all citizens. Former Prime Minister Raila Odinga praised Mbotela Mbotela as a veteran journalist and broadcaster whose influence extended far beyond the media industry, shaping the nation as a whole. Royal Media Services Managing Director Wachira Waroro expressed profound sorrow over the passing of veteran broadcaster Leonard Mambo Mbotela, describing him as more than just an icon. He was an institution. Waroro acknowledged Mbotela's immense contribution to radio commentary and presentation, emphasizing that his groundbreaking role is permanently etched in the media history of the nation and the broader Kiswahili-speaking East African region. Celebrated media personality Fred Obati Machoka also eulogized Mbotela, highlighting how his groundbreaking contributions to broadcasting continue to leave an enduring legacy. Leonard Mambo Mbotela, born on May 29, 1940, passed away at Nairobi West Hospital after a prolonged illness, leaving behind a rich legacy that will forever be etched in the archives of Kenyan media history. Ben Kirui, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
Welcome back. Had a message here. Dear listeners, dear Kenyans, this is VOK. My name is Leonard Mambo Mbotela. You are informed that the government of Daniel Arap Moi has been overthrown. Yes, get it clear from me. The government of Daniel Arap Moi has been overthrown. He is no longer the president of Kenya. The military is now in charge of the country. The police are now civilians. All prisoners are now free. Wananchi, you are ordered to remain wherever you are until you get further instructions. I'm here in the studio with the new Kenyan president, Ezekiel Ochuka. Well, that's not my message. That's an announcement. Sorry, he was making during the failed coup at I think VOK. That was in 1980. I can't remember the correct year. 1982, I guess. That's one of the highlights, the biggest highlights of his career, when he made that announcement on radio that President Moi had been overthrown and through a coup, and now the military was in charge. Although that failed, but it was one of the moments that really defined the history of our country. And he was on the front row seat. Actually, he was the presenter who did that. So that's an excerpt from his book, his memoir, Jehu ni Ungwana. Well, I'm inviting you to come and just share with me what you remember about him. And as I do that, I'll be sending out the link right now. Yes, the link is out. Suni Mohamud says, Mama Selina at Lala Odumani, welcome to the show. Like the video, share, subscribe, and join. Nasili2TV says that is not the announcement. Which is the announcement? I've been reading it from his memoir. Mohammed Ege, who was here way before I started, said the court ruling is a landmark and stark I believe he wants to say rebuke to Weta, who illegally occupies Ford Kenya chair. Esther Stahl says, good evening, Bernard and all of you. Bernard is not here with us tonight. Dahir Abdi says, hi, Bernard and everyone. Chakam Dune says, hello, good people. Okay. Asili2TV says the correct announcement. That was 1982. Osam says that was 1982. I personally had the announcement through my father's transistor radio. He repeated the same news several times. Asili2TV is correcting the announcement. Says polisi wanaamriwa wakae kama raia. I think that's the Swahili version. There's a confusion. He read it a couple of times, both in Swahili and English, but the announcement I've been reading was English. But it's it's practically the same message. President Moi has been overthrown and the military has taken over, and police are now civilians, the military is in charge, and everyone is advised to stay at home. That was basically the message that he was announcing to the nation back then, when there were no phones and radio was the only means of communication. Okay, may the legend rest in eternal peace. That's a message of condolence from Awesome. Let me read some few messages of condolences on X. Raila Odinga says, I'm deeply saddened by the passing of Leonard Mambo Mbotela this morning. Leonard, a veteran journalist and a broadcaster with immense influence in the media industry and the country as a whole, was a dedicated public servant who spent his life informing, educating, and entertaining Kenyans through his informative programs. As a sports journalist, Mr. Mbotela excelled as an outstanding football commentator who made radio football commentary lively to listeners. His popular educative program, Je Huni Ungwana, remains etched on the memory of many listeners as a moral compass on social relations. Leonard was not only a broadcaster, but a friend and a supporter. My deepest condolences to his family, friends, and the media fraternity. May Mzee Leonard Mbotela rest in eternal peace. That's Raila Odinga with this message of condolence on X. Let's find one or two more. We have Rigathi Gachagua here. I have received the news of the demise of veteran journalist Mzee Leonard Mambo Mbotela with great shock. Leonard Mambo Mbotela remains a household name in Kenya's journalism and the entire communication spectrum. Through his towering career in the media over the years, Mambo Mbotela has mentored many journalists, shaped conversations, narratives, notably his KBC program, Je Huni Ungwana, continues to remain strong mirror towards community moral fabric on what is right or wrong. I pass my deepest sympathies to his family, friends, and the entire media fraternity in the country and beyond. May the soul of Mzee Mbotela rest in peace and perpetual light shine upon him. That's Rigathi Gachagua's message of condolences. I think I'll take one more. Just a moment. I think I'll take Ruto's message. We are heartbroken by the death of veteran broadcaster Leonard Mambo Mbotela. He was a gifted and powerful broadcaster whose alluring voice dominated our airwaves with his first-class football commentaries and the signature program, Je Huni Ungwana. Mbotela will fondly be remembered for the integral role he played on our radio stations through the mentoring of young broadcasters. Our thoughts are with the family, the loved ones, and the media fraternity at this difficult time. Rest in peace, Mzee Mbotela. Okay, that's William Ruto's message of condolence. Messages of condolences continue to pour in for a legend in this field who's remembered for his football commentary and Joe Nyungwana. I think those two stand out through his career. Those two are the most memorable. Those two are what most Kenyans have fond memories with. That is what they remember him for on radio and TV. Asili2 TV says that I'm here with the new president. I don't remember hearing that. Asili2 TV is really against what I've just read. Okay, I was reading a page from his own book, from the man himself. So okay, I was not there when the coup happened. But anyway, I don't think it's what is quoted is really important. But I heard his interview last year. He was on radio some time back, and I remember him saying those exact words. I'm here with the president, Ezekiel Ochuka. Yes, I had he told his story on radio last year. So he was quite young back then when that happened, and he was living somewhere in Ngara, I guess, and he was working at KBC. And when the coup happened, the coup started at night, dead in the night, and the coup leaders came to his house, and they pulled him out. I think he was sleeping, and he was half naked. He had just been drinking the previous night, and they pulled him out, and they put him in their car, and they took him to studio, and they gave him a message to read, and told him, tell Kenyans a coup has happened, and we are the new leaders. Mention my name. I think that is what he was saying, if my memory is right. But anyway, continue to invite you into the studio. Just had Lala a couple of moments ago, but seems to have dropped out of the studio. Lala, if you're out there, if you're listening, come back. Hope you'll be coming back. The link is out there. I've sent the link out. I'm inviting you. Remember to subscribe, like the video and share it out, and most importantly, subscribe. Evening all. RIP Leonard Mambo Mbotela. He was our true legend in broadcasting. That's Halima Hassan. So as I wait for you guys to come and join me in the conversation tonight, maybe I'll play a conversation, if you allow me, a conversation, just some Kenyans remembering him, as I wait for you guys to join me. So in the meantime, we'll just listen into this conversation as we wait.
Mwenyewe nilikuwa naiga kama yeye kabisa, hata shuleni nilikuwa naiga kama Leonard. Sasa nyumbani pia nilikuwa naiga Leonard Mambo Mbotela kipindi cha Je Huru bwana. Sasa wageni wakija, kuna wakati wageni walikuja nyumbani, alafu kisha baadaye nikaambiwa njoo, hebu fanya vile Leonard anavyofanya. Na unajua sasa tulikuwa kule Zanzibar na sasa naanza kuiga Leonard. Waona, sasa nilipoiga Leonard mimi nikataja kitu kimoja, maana babangu alikuwa anabugia. Sasa mimi naye katika ile harakati, mimi maana nasikiza kipindi, mimi nikaiga nikikusema kwamba baba wanywa pombe, una watoto waendi shule, watoto wakuli. Je, huo ni ungwana? Mimi nilipigwa kofi moja nikaona nyota. Hadi sherehe ikaisha.
Babako alikuwa anafikiria unamzungumzia.
Sasa alikuwa anadhania kwamba mimi namchoma yeye, unaona. Kumbe mimi nilikuwa yangu tu zile kuiga Leonard. Sasa akanipiga kofi pale, nikaanguka chini, sherehe ikaisha hapo. Kwa hiyo namkumbuka sana. Mwenyezi Mungu alipatia nafasi ya kuwa na yeye, amefunza wengi. Mimi nasema ni mhadhiri yeye katika nyanja hizi. Kwa hiyo tunashukuru Mwenyezi Mungu kwa haya yote.
Kama ndasiji kama unamfahamu Leonard Mambo.
Nilikuwa na mkiwa mdogo nilikuwa nasikiza hiyo kipindi ya Je, Huu ni Ungwana.
Ndio.
Kwa sana, na alikuwa mtangazaji namtambua kwa sana, na nilikuwa namsikiza kwa sana.
Nene?
Nafikiri kama alivyotaja mwenzangu ni kwamba si wote tumekuwa tukimsikiza Leonard Mambo Mbotela kuhusiana na kile kipindi chake cha Je, Huu ni Ungwana, na wengine wetu ambao labda tulijisi tunataka kuzamia tasnia ya wanahabari, labda tujifunza mengi sana kutoka kwake. Kwa hivyo nitazema kama alivyosema mwenzangu hapa kwamba ni pigo kubwa zaidi, na Mwenyezi Mungu aweze kuilaza roho yake mahali pema peponi.
Bila shaka ni mtangazaji hodari sana wa KBC VOK. Anakumbukwa kwa sifa nyingi sana. Yeye ndio alikuwa mtangazaji wakati mambo yalikuwa yamechafuka 1982 hapa. Kama una historia, amepiga historia hiyo sana. Lakini kabla ya hapo, Brian, je, wewe unamkumbuka vipi Leonard Mambo? Mwanzo ushakutana naye?
Shawahi kutana naye katika pilika za hapa KBC kazini. niona ni mngwana sana, yuko yani yuko accommodative, anazungumza na kila mtu, anakubalia kila mtu, lakini kifo chake kinatukumbusha kuwa hiyo ndio njia ya haki. Sisi wote tunakumbusha tutapitia hiyo njia. Kwa hiyo ukiwa na nafasi ya kufanya vyema, basi tufanye vyema, sababu hatujui ya kesho jamani. Yani ni kweli tunahuzunika, tumempoteza, lakini aliacha akiwa amefanya kazi nzuri sana jamani. Sio kila mtu anaweza fanya kazi ambaye Mbotela aliweza kufanya. Ngole kwake jamani.
Mpaka kifo chake kaka Jose alikuwa ni shujaa, alikuwa ni mtu na nguvu zake, alikuwa anapiga shughuli kama inavyostahili, na alikuwa ni kielelezo cha kupigiwa mfano kwa si wale waliomsikia na waliokuwa na yeye tu, ila pia generation hii ambayo ipo kwa sasa na ina kama alivyosema Nene hapa, inategemea kuweza kufanya vizuri sana katika tasnia hii.
Ni kweli, maana hata majuma mawili yaliyopita nakumbuka kwamba Leonard Mambo Mbotela alikuwa anafanya kipindi cha Jeu Niongwana. Hata kuna sehemu kule ambako mimi naishi, sehemu ya Kitengela, kuna wale mashabiki wengi walikuwa wanauliza, vipi, je, Mambo Mbotela bado yupo? Naambia bado yupo. Wewe unajua siku hizi redio labda ni nyingi, mnafungulia redio nyingine, fungua KBC Radio Taifa, utamsikiliza Leonard Mambo Mbotela, tena anaendelea na kile kipindi chake cha Je Huu Ni Ungwana. Ukweli ni kwamba katika mambo ya utangazaji, katika tasnia ya utangazaji, iwapo kwamba kuna wale watangazaji ambao wataandika historia ndefu sana, ni Leonard Mambo Mbotela. Nafikiria mtaalamu wa uandishi, mwandishi fulani, iwe labda ni kakangu Guru Sadi wala bin wala, amepatiwa jukumu la kuandika sasa historia ya Leonard Mambo Mbotela, nafikiria kitabu chake hakiwezi kupungua kurasa 300 hadi 500, kwa sababu amefanya mambo mengi sana. Vile ambavyo ulikuwa nasema wakati nchi ilipochafuka mwaka 92, alikwenda kuchukuliwa nyumbani kwake, kwa sababu wale ambao walikuwa wanataka kufanya mapinduzi walikuwa wanaamini kwamba sauti ya Leonard Mambo Mbotela akisema kwamba hivi na hivi na hivi na hivi, Wakenya watamwamini. Alikuja na alikuwa akitangaza mbele ya mtutu wa bunduki. Kwa hivyo unaweza ukahisi jinsi ambavyo alikuwa anavyojihisi yeye mwenyewe, na ni mmoja kati wale watangazaji ambaye anasema kwamba baada ya kusomea mambo utangazaji akaingia KBC, akafanya KBC, na sasa ameondoka akiwa KBC. Wengi tu wanaambia, kaka Jose, mbona jamaa wanahama wanakwenda hapa na pale sijui nini, mbona Mambo, mbona Jako yo Sylvester, mbona nyinyi amtoke KBC? Naambia KBC ndio baba na mama bwana, hakuna haja ya kuruka hapa na pale. Naona bwana. Kwa hivyo Mambo, kusema kweli, tumempoteza. Jinsi ambavyo unaweza kumuona hapa kwenye runinga yako, ni mzee ambaye ametulia sana, ametufunza mengi sana. Nilipotangaza na Leonard Mambo Mbotela, yani mimi mwenyewe nilipata mshtuko. Leonard Mambo Mbotela ananipatia microphone, anasema anza kutangaza mpira, na ni mpira wa kimataifa, Arab Contractors na Mumias Sugar. Hilo jambo siwezi nikasahau. Kwa hivyo kusema kweli tumempoteza, na ni mtu wa watu. Jinsi ambavyo bwana mdogo amesema hapa, Mambo Mbotela ilikuwa ni mtu na ni mcheshi. Yani Mambo hata yani akisha kuona tu umeenda kumsalimia tayari ameanza kucheka. Lakini ndivyo hivyo.
Alikuwa sahau. Acha ni Osimaina. Unaogelea katika bahari yako, sio? Unamjua nini?
Nimesikia.
Unasikia?
Ndio nilikuwa namuona, but nimeshangazwa kusikia ati amekufa.
Ni pigo kubwa sana, kwa sababu kama unavyomuona hapo alikuwa ni mcheshi kama alivyosema kaka Jose. Kaka Jose amefanya kazi na yeye, akina Salim Manga hapo tunaweza kuona ni kina Adija Ali,
Gladys Rude,
akina Topi, Liambila walikwenda kumtembelea. Alafu kuna wengine hapo kina Machoka,
Elizabeth Obege pia yuko pale.
Wote wale ni malegendari hapa. Na itakuwa ni pigo kubwa sana Jared, kwa sababu wewe binafsi ulikuwa ufanye kazi na mzee Leonard Mambo Mbotela, lakini nasikitika hilo halitawezekana tena.
Unajua mipango zake Mwenyezi Mungu, anapanga Mungu uzipangua binadamu, anajua Mwenyezi Mungu, kwa sababu kwa tumepanga kama binadamu ya kwamba tutatafutana siku moja pamoja na mkuu wetu Maria Wavinya, ya kwamba tufanye jambo, yani tuwashukuru tu kwa kazi yake nzuri ametufanyia nini, ametuelekeza watu wengi kwa mambo mbalimbali. Lakini ndivyo hivyo, kumbe Mungu alikuwa amesema kwamba nyinyi mmepanga kama nyinyi na mimi nimepanga kama mimi. Kwa hiyo kazi ya Mungu haina kasoro na hauwezi ukapangua kazi yake Mwenyezi Mungu Subhanallah. Naam.
Kaka Jose, labda ni maneno yapi ambayo unaweza yakumbuka vizuri sana kando na huu ni ungwana?
Maje. Yeye ulikuwa kukutana naye, ukishasikia tu maje basi unajua huyu ni Leonard Mambo Mbotela. Maje namna gani? Alafu jambo jingine kwamba Mambo Mbotela alikuwa ni mtangazaji, alikuwa anasoma habari, alikuwa anatangaza mpira, alafu usisahau ni mwanamuziki hodari sana. Bango. Alhamdulillah, nakwambia alikuwa akikushikia bomba huyo, anakuimbia. Tutaona wakati ambapo najua muda atapatia muda kutangaza mengi, historia yake akiwa mwanamuziki, akiwa mtangazaji. Kwa hivyo ukweli ni kwamba alifanya kazi. Leonard Mambo amefanya kazi, amelitumikia taifa la Kenya kwa moyo wake wote.
Na atakumbukwa. Mimi pia namkumbuka vizuri sana wakati huo akianza kutangaza, nadhani nilikuwa namsikia huu ni ngwana, alafu akaenda kufanya kazi na rais wakati huo Daniel Moi PPS.
Alikwenda alafu baadaye akatoka, baada ya muda mfupi tena akafanya nini? Akarudi. Alafu unajua tena Wakenya ndivyo hivyo. Unajua Wakenya walikuwa wanasema nini? Unajua Leonard Mambo Mbotela ametolewa pale katika kitengo cha rais. Hata alikuwa anasema basi mtukufu Rais Daniel Arap Moi leo amevalia suti yake ile ya kawaida na ua lake lile la kawaida. Jamaa akasema alhamdulillah, yani Moi huyo ana suti moja tu.
Kumbe alikuwa anamaanisha rais yuko na dhifu kama kawaida yake.
Kama madoido mbwe na hanja kunogesha.
Sasa ni kwa lugha, tatizo ni lugha sasa. Sasa wabana walikuwa na deni mingine sasa.
Sasa vipi yani suti ile kwa suti yake ile na uwaridi ambao amelichomeka pale, anapendeza kweli, anatembea pamoja aste ananyata pale. Jamaa akasema huyo mzee. Lakini baadaye katika ile chaka cha chuo alipokuja kujua kwamba mama hakuwa ndani ya mbaya, akaambiwa wewe rudi PPS.
Alikuwa anacheza na maneno tu.
Unajua kwani kuendelea kuzungumza kuhusu Lemoka kabla nifike kwako baba, yani nakusifu sifa na kusifu sana sifa Kenya lazima uzipate. Wasema kwamba Lemoka kijana western, kijana ambaye si mrefu si mfupi, yani kikimu chake ni western, kijana si mweusi si mweupe, yani ukimwona kutembea kwake anatembea kama bata. Lazima sasa nikusifu hivyo. Sasa lazima babu usifu mtu, hususan mtu ambaye ni mfalme. Rais Moi alikuwa mfalme. Sasa mtu kama yule lazima umsifu sana. Sasa wajua watu wengine walikuwa wanasema kwamba huyu asemeje huyu, mbona amdhalalisha rais wetu? Lakini ndio hivyo tena. Lakini hata hivyo tunasema Mungu ailaze roho yake mahali pema peponi. Kumbuka na kujuza tu ni mtangazaji shujaa Leonard Mambo Mbotela ambaye ameaga dunia.
Well, sorry for that. Welcome back to the studio. That's just a commentary by the KBC crew earlier today that I was playing for you on our topic tonight as I wait for you to come into the studio. Just some fond recollection of Kenyans, journalists remembering what they remember about Mzee Leonard Mambo Mbotela. Just playing that for you as I wait for you to join me in the studio. I'm still riding solo. Just take it to where I can. I can't really have a monologue for long. And if no one will have joined me in the studio, then I'll be forced to call it a wrap and close the show. But hopefully, you people will drop in to just give me your 2 cents on our discussion tonight. Awesome. But in the meantime, if you're in no position to join me, you can just continue engaging with me in the comment section. I have Awesome who says, I really wish the Gen Zs had that opportunity to listen to him. Apart from being a broadcaster, he was a moral teacher. Only Gen Zs are not alphas. Gen Zs actually grew up in the 2000s, and I think he was still very much active as a journalist. I watched his show. Back then, we had a black and white TV, and those old TVs, and it's a great wall, and it only had one channel, KBC. So those KBC programs are all we used to watch. So his program Je Uniungwana was one of them. It was a hit back then. So I remember watching his show, and yeah, I remember he was a moral teacher. He would use that show to criticize the bad habits that generally we as Kenyans, that you would come across among us, we as Kenyans. I remember that show. Gen Zs aren't that young. We actually watched him. Although at that point he was a little bit old, not as old as he was when he died yesterday, 7th. It's already 8th here in Nairobi. But we remember. Priscilla Zawadi says, may his soul rest in peace. May his soul rest in peace. Remember to subscribe as usual, and like the video and share it out. And most importantly, come into the studio and let's have this conversation together. So at that moment, I think could just say, may the legend rest in peace. Maybe I can take a few more message of condolences from Kenyans on X. Let's see who we have here. There's Joyce Nairo next, who says, with the Je Uniungwana, Leonard Mambo Mbotela did the valuable work of helping fast urbanizing Kenya, come to terms with the new social mores in what was often an alienating environment. He did so with a beautiful voice, great wit, and gentle chiding. Honorable Justin Muturi, the message, the politicians, they are too long. Just read a paragraph out of it. Leonard Mambo Mbotela was more than just a journalist. He was a voice of wisdom, a storyteller, and a national treasure. From the days of Voice of Kenya, VOK, to KBC, he used the airwaves to inform, educate, and instill values through his iconic program, Je Uniungwana. His impact on Kenya's media landscape is unmatched, and his legacy will live on for generations. His distinct voice and unforgettable storytelling will forever be etched in the memories of millions who grew up listening to his broadcasts. My thoughts and prayers are with his family and friends and the entire media fraternity during this difficult time. May his soul rest in peace. Let me take one more from a random Kenyan. Mwangi Kirubi on X says, I was a junior creative, wowed at coming face to face with Leonard Mambo Mbotela for this TVC I scripted around 2001. Despite his legendary status, he had no heirs around him. He made working with him a great experience. An honorable Kenyan has rested. And yes, at SCT we say, may his soul rest in peace. Okay. So yeah, so that's it. Here at SCT we say, may his soul rest in peace. Okay, now moving on. The courts have ruled that Kenya Kwanza is not the majority alliance in parliament. Interesting. I think we will take a look at that, and when we come back, love to hear from you, you people in the comment section, what you think about it. Maybe I'll play that bite. Then when we come back, hopefully there'll be someone in the studio to help me understand what that means for legislation and what that means for our politics at this point in time. Just play that. Just a moment. Okay. Before I play that clip, let me just. I have Mama Selina with me in studio right now. Mama Selina, ujambo?
Si jambo sana.
Karibu kwenye studio.
Asante, actually I was asleep. Baridi imetukasa huku.
Only it's spring.
You know, it's winter, not yet spring.
It's still okay.
Yep.
Lakini hali vipi huko?
Ni mangumu, bado ni ngumu sasa. Sasa wacha vile tulikuwa tunaona NGOs ya Kenya, tulikuwa tunaona Africa, but now imefika in the doors, imeklosiwa mpaka huku, watu wame lose jobs. People are really crying. So
Well,
it is not even Africa alone, iko ngumu, or even the world, yes. Wame reduce a lot of things here. Watu wame lose jobs, especially some NGOs, wale walikuwa nasaidia watu. There are some organization ilikuwa inasaidia migrants, like refugees. So people are being like, wengine wanaambiwa walipwe 7 months and they leave. So kuna mambo mingi sana huku haieleweki. So yeah, it is like that.
Okay. Huku pia huku nyumbani pia mambo ni mingi inafanyika. Leo tumepoteza mzee Leonard Mambo Mbotela. Unamkumbuka vipi?
Yes, let his soul rest in peace. Nakumbuka Leonard Mambo Mbotela akiwa KPC and Kwanza akiwa kati ya presidential escort wakati ya Moi. Nakumbuka yes, alikuwa kutangaza kwake. Unge personally like alikuwa na sauti nyororo. Alifutia watu wengi sana. I think we had never had another broadcaster like Leonard Mambo Mbotela. Yes, he was a very humble person. Alipenda kazi yake. That is how I remember him. There was Leonard Mambo Mbotela. There was so many. There was some. Do I remember? Yes, but I remember him more. Na kuna Mohammed, was it Mohammed Ali? Yes. Those group, they were a group of journalists. Wale walikuwa watangazaji ya KBC. So I do remember him a lot, and sauti yake ilifana sana.
Na kipindi chake cha Je ni ungwana.
Yes, yote.
Mhm.
Yes, kila kitu. I really hiyo na wakati Moi alikuwa na function ama sana hivyo ndiye nilichua Leonard Mambo Mbotela. That is how I came to know him personally. Yani mimi ni mmoja ya wale walifaitika kumwona. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mama Selina, and welcome to the show. And everybody who is just tuning in, we were just sending our messages of condolences to the family of Leonard Mambo Mbotela, who passed on earlier today.
And Douglas, those
yes,
times,
yes,
they
Mama.
were good servants, you know. Unajua, if you compare now with corrupt people, you see, ukiangalia watu kama Leonard Mbotela walifanya kazi mingi, kama huyu alikuwa anaitwa nani, huyu Mkisi, Machoka, Fred Machoka.
Fred Machoka.
Yes, but walifanya kazi yani like walipaki na hiyo mshahara yao. They were not very rich. Hawakukuwa corrupt. If the all servants ama watu yote wangekuwa kama hawa, Kenya yetu ingekuwa mbali sana. Yeah, I just wanted to add that.
Yes, thank you, Mama Selina. Yes, a few Kenyans remembered for being honest and being principled and to the end. And Leonard Mambo Mbotela, I think he was one of them. Someone in the comments said that he was not just a journalist; he was also a moral teacher. And here at SCT, we say, "May his soul rest in peace." Okay, so I think at this point we'll just move on to the next topic. So Mama Selena, I'll just play our next story. Today court imesema Kenya Kwanza sio my majority in bunge. So when we come back utaniambia what does that mean for bunge and our politics. So I'll just play that bite and when we come back we'll have that conversation.
That Kenya Kwanza is not the majority party in Kenya's National Assembly, declaring that Speaker Moses Wetangula violated the Constitution in making the determination. Justices John Chigiti, Lawrence Mugambi and Jairus Nga further ruled that Wetangula's dual role as Ford Kenya party leader and Speaker of the National Assembly is unconstitutional. Seth Olale with the detailed proceedings of the ruling issued at the Milimani Law Court.
Moses Masika Wetangula is a man under siege. A landmark ruling by Justices John Chigiti, Lawrence Mugambi and Jairus Nga overturned his decision on the majority party in the National Assembly.
It is hereby declared that the Honourable Speaker's ruling or determination contained in his communication from the Chair made on 6th October 2022 on the majority and minority in the National Assembly violated Article 108 of the Constitution, and therefore it is null and void.
Wetangula made the controversial declaration during a heated session on the floor of the House on the 6th October 2024 amidst protest by opposition MPs.
The membership of the Kenya Kwanza coalition stands at 179 members, while the membership of the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition party stands at 157 members. This by implication indicates that the Kenya Kwanza coalition is the majority party and the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition party is the minority party in this House.
The three-judge bench ruled that there was no evidence that 14 MPs from 5 political parties ditched Raila Odinga's Azimio coalition and joined President William Ruto's Kenya Kwanza coalition. through a post-election pact. The parties are the Movement for Democracy and Growth of Ugenya MP David Ochieng, Mandela Senator Ali Roberts' United Democratic Movement, Amason Kingi's Pamoja African Alliance, Chama cha Mashinani of Isaac Ruto, and Alfred Mutua's Maendeleo Chap Chap.
Based on the information provided by the registrar of political parties, these parties were members of the Azimio coalition, notwithstanding the disputes that were pending for determination.
At the time, Azimio legislators viciously protested Speaker Wetangula's ruling, threatening to take legal action against the Ford Kenya party leader.
It is for the first time a speaker in his place is removing members of parliament from one party to another party. He has become the registrar of political parties. He is the Speaker of the National Assembly. He is law unto himself.
What we have witnessed today is dictatorship by Parliament and through the Speaker. Kenyans gave registrar of political parties exclusive mandate to manage political party affairs. There is no any other office in the Republic of Kenya unless it is the judiciary interpreting the law.
Speaker Wetangula dealt a further blow by the courts, which said he cannot be both Ford Kenya party leader and Speaker of the National Assembly. The 12 petitioners, among them Lempa Suyinka, Meshak Suba Churchill, and Kenneth Njagi Njeru, asked the three-judge bench to overturn Wetangula's ruling that had installed Kenya Kwanza Alliance as the majority party, arguing that the Kenya Kwanza coalition had 165 members of the National Assembly, while Azimio had 171 from the published election results. Seth Olale, Citizen TV.
Well, sorry for that mishap with the video, but still had the audio, right? Mama Selina?
Yes, Douglas, it is true. The ruling from court is true. Azimio walikuwa na more members of parliament. It's the parties that walinunua, and then they was about, if you are elected as a member of parliament, if you want to cross over to another party, I think there is a period of maybe it was 6 months before you jump, but kwa sababu waliona serikali iwezi kuwa minority na walikuwa wameipa kura, so they force everything. Ni ukweli kabisa, and people were waiting for that truth, and I think now kwa sababu tumepata haki ya members of parliament, na vile Rikichi alisema Raila won the election and he would tell us, I think the truth is coming out. So Wetangula, as for today, kama court imerule like that, Azimio should have a Speaker of Parliament. But now they are doing all these things wakati wamekuwa pamoja, so you don't know. But for me, it is the truth. And even if Kenya Kwanza wanted to give to anybody, then Wetangula should not be the Speaker of Parliament, because hiyo ni dictatorship. So now, after court ruling, as Kenyans, we want to see way forward. So what will happen? Because they were minority. Can still Azimio after a cake? Or hata kama wamepata ukweli, are they selling it out, or what is going on? Yes, but it was true. You cannot cross over from another party to another party immediately after election. the Constitution or the Political Party Act say, if you want to cross over, then you have to resign from that party, co-re-elected, if you want to join another party. If you are full party want to support another party because of the collusion they had, then it has to be 6 months after election. Yes. So they did not wait even to one month. While you break the law. Yes.
So, but okay, what has been bothering me now that they've been operating as the majority in parliament unlawfully? What does that mean for all the laws and all the bills that they've passed kutoka 2022 till now?
It was the problem of Chief Justice because she allowed it. The Chief Justice is the problem because she could have, yeye ndiye custodian ya law. And because he was in bed with them, she never see it. Because wakati ya Wetangula kuapishwa, I'm sure Chief Justice was there. So they really rob Constitution. And if they can overturn it, is the better kama kuna hiyo laws imepitishwa. Na kumbuka kuna laws mingi sana wamepitisha by force. They were not counting, the shouting, this side is shouting, the other side is shouting, and then the speaker wanasema the eyes have it. Even though they did not have it. So that's a problem. That's a problem. If you can get those videos one time, you will see that many things they pass, it was not in agreeable in parliament. Ilikuwa ni vita, ingine ni usiku. Kuna debate ya kwamba, remember, a member of parliament is not supposed to be given 3 minutes or 5 minutes. No, 3 minutes. They have to argue. If there is a motion in parliament, you have to give members of parliament more time. But for Wetangula, they introduce in the morning, people are given 2 minutes or 1 minute, and it cannot even last, and they pass the motion. So he has robbed a lot of things in the constitution, in parliament. I don't know the way you are asking, but we know there is a lot of laws that it has been broken by Moses Wetangula for giving members of parliament no time to act with the debate. One is finance bill. Another one was that one of political parties, because they were trying to change the constitution so that it can suit what they have done. So I think all the things that walipitisha bila kukubaliana, I think that one also, it can be overturned the way they have done the speaker's position. And again, do you think he can leave? I don't know. That's another story.
Okay, thank you, Mama Selina. What I was asking ni, for instance, Rigiji was impeached by the House na kesi yake nadhani iko kotini. So can his lawyers argue based on the on the basis that the House was illegal, unconstitutional or something like that? Can that hold in court, that argument?
I think the problem for Rikichi, it was
Not okay.
They
okay.
say it is three-third. So it was overwhelming a lot of members of parliament. Even though the speaker, but Ali, it was more than 90 something, 200 and was it 293 or 290? So that's another thing that ilifika the maximum 3/3. So unless they argue that Wetangula was sitting unconstitutional, Wetangula himself, the speaker, not the members of parliament, because the members of parliament, they were majority while they were impeached. Yes.
Okay, but Osam says the court's pronouncement has zero effect currently. I'm not sure what he means. Maybe if you can expound or what exactly you're saying. But I'd put up a poll question. Do you believe the court ruling that Kenya Kwanza is not the majority will lead to more balanced legislation? 29 votes so far. 59% of you say yes, 41% of you say no. But back to you, Mama Selina. Does this, okay, in the past, tumeona, Parliament just playing the role of a stamp. They just, laws come from the executive and they pass them. But after this ruling, will this does this mean that we as Kenyans, we can begin to see more sober debates in Parliament, and now that the ruling coalition now that it has been established that the ruling coalition is not the majority in Parliament, and I think the House leadership is also going to change. Azimio will pick the majority leader, and they will have to settle for the minority leader. Will this bring a breath of fresh air in Parliament? Are we going to see better debates, more sober debates, reasonable laws being passed in Bunge?
Okay, after this, I don't know where did I hear that. I don't want to make it as a rumor, but I think the Speaker of Parliament and the Speaker of Senate, they are minority, very minority in the seats that they have. But now, again, if we are in broad government, and the members of Parliament work together, we may get another speaker, of which it may come from a majority party in Parliament now. So I don't know, because actually who is in opposition? Okay, Azimio, as we talk, we don't know who are really now in we don't know who is opposition, who is minority or majority in Bunge now. But for real, I was like, some people were recommending Atiende Amolo. Maybe it can be the speaker, but I don't know how. But let's wait and see. The only thing we would like to know is if they had to go back and do election, the Speaker of Parliament may have a problem. He may not have majority to vote for him. Because one, Kenya Kwanza ime sambaratika. And so opposition peer, I know they still have majority, but we wait and see.
Currently they have the Azimio numbers too. Azimio wako, they're part of Parliament currently, a part of government.
That is what I say. Azimio say, the members of Parliament, you hear even when they debate in Parliament, they say we are not in government. That is why they can still stand in Parliament and kuambia the government the right thing. You know, the thing now here, Azimio says they give out experts. Remember, Millie Otiambo, as the minority leader or something in parliament, they say they will correct the government, even though the few members of their people are in government. So it is not a party. You know, there are these different things. The people who are in government now, they relinquish their positions in the party. Like Obaranya, Cho, Wandai, and Mbati, waliwacha viti sao, and they move as individuals. They were replaced in the party constitution. So they are no longer holding positions. They can be members, or they can join another party they wish. So Azimio are still there, very strong, and even ODM as we wish. They are the majority in parliament. So, and the few members that they left, even Kalonzo Musyoka, the one they claim they are in, you know, now they are working with Rikichi. But when something like this come, their members of parliament are still in Azimio. So we will wait and see what will happen. I know the Jubilee Party, they had left it to join the government. The party of, I don't know, the new party in Wachia, in Northeastern. That they were sued in that suit in the court. So I don't know what will happen, but I'm saying let's wait and see. Things may be difficult, but I think the speaker, he will have to resign because he cannot continue unless they do another election and they re-elect him again. But I don't think with what he was that time, lazima atawacha. So maybe he can be re-elected, but KK is minority now too much because they have walked away from their government. So we will wait and see, because even the people who are supporting Gachagua, the members of parliament, they are refusing to be in opposition. They are still holding. Unajua shida, Douglas, these members of parliament, they don't want to show because they know wakionekana wata lose their seats. So they are double standard. They say we will support you, but tunataka kuwa kwa hii serikali for 5 years. So it cannot support us as Kenyans, because you elect him. If you will be in opposition, you are supposed to resign and be re-elected. That is why they still hold on their positions as members of parliament from this party, which is recognized in the constitution. So in the party, what do we call? Registrar of political parties. So hii watu wamejificha. They don't say tumetoka. Because ukitoka, you lose your seat. Go for re-election, of which they don't want to. Yes.
Thank you, Mama Selina. You know, it will be interesting to see how lawyers in the country, you know, use these to, you know, in future litigations against some of the laws that have been passed up to date, because the laws declared that Speaker Moses Wetangula acted unconstitutionally. So my concern was what happens to those legislations, laws, and bills that have been passed in the course of this parliament that has operated within. What happens to those laws since they've been passed in a situation that is unconstitutional, if I may put it that way? So it will be interesting to watch what plays out. But anyway, I'm still here with Mama Selina. It's 2 a.m. I had that poll question. I was asking, do you believe the court ruling that Kenya Kwanza is not the majority will lead to more balanced legislation? 30 votes so far. 60% of you say yes. 40% say no. 40% of you believe that it's not going to affect legislation in any way. It's just going to be the same old chaos that we've been witnessing this past 2 or so years. Be waiting to see how that plays out.
Money will change. The money will change hands now in Parliament. The members of Parliament will go home rich because this is a serious matter, and because our members of Parliament wamekubali kununuliwa, you will see what will happen in Parliament. Yes.
Azimio right now ndio majority, so I don't know. But anyway, what happens now if Raila fails to get the AU job? Of course, atarudi kama the official position once again, with now having numbers in Bunge. So that means he'll have control, so to speak, of the house that makes the laws. I don't know. How do you think that Mama Selina is going to affect
for Raila,
Ruto's?
Yeah, for Raila, for now, for you know, we have so different things in this OAU thing. Raila was once a member of Parliament for OAU infrastructure. No, he was part of them as he had which infrastructure, and then Raila, of course, he has been there for a long time, and he is known, apart from the Kenyan government supporting Raila, but the person Raila himself, the person called Raila, all these most of the presidents of Africa, they know Raila in person. They have worked with Raila in person. So far, if they were saying 28 countries have endorsed, and he has worked, he has moved by himself. And I think you remember there was a time they say Raila should go by himself. Atitafutie kura kwa sababu wakati Ruto ameanza kuwa na problem na heads of state from other countries, they advised Raila to go by himself. Well, the OAU seat for Raila, it is not now, okay, even though we wish, even though Kenyans, they may have wished Raila will lose. This time round is different. But he will also emerge a strong chairman with this political party, Azimio. You know Raila, you don't know Raila. A lot of people don't understand Raila. He may come back now and wanted to strengthen his party. He will put a strong candidate. He has not resigned from the party. he put interim. So in 2 weeks, I'm telling you, that he cannot be the chairman of OAU and wanted to show other countries that he can lead and agree Kenya to go down, or all these things happening in Kenya. Ruto, I'm telling you, he may not be happy or enjoy. You know politics, yes, and you know Raila. He worked with
Yes.
Moi. He worked from Moi and took everybody else. He worked with Kibaki, it was the same. And especially now, the truth is coming out. And remember, before even he went there, he knew whistleblower. He knew he won the election. But because of Chief Justice, alitangasa, then Raila say, what will we do? So because of that, and now the parliament is coming to tell us, Wetangula also, KK was minority, and that is why always Raila say, why are we majority in the counties? As near are the majority in the counties. They are majority in the members of parliament, but not parties. So this thing, he may come back, endorse his person. The only thing I felt for me was Azimio team, the Kalonzo, the Mother Karua, the people who work with Raila. When Raila walked away, Kalonzo was supposed to work in Azimio, the team could stick together, and now Baba could have to what? Place one of them. So let's wait and see what is going on. But for OAU seat, again, it is not the people. Now they say the Chuputi candidate. The president of Chuputi is a dictator. He has ruled in that country for almost 40 years. So the citizens of Chuputi are saying, how can a dictator? So there is a lot going on. And that seat of OAU, it is not us. It is the presidents. And all these presidents, apart from this Tohore, what do we call this guy? They are not also voting because all the countries wamechukuliwa, wamefanya coup. They are not voting.
Yes.
So now, all these other presidents, remember wakati CNC ya Kenya, they woke up. It was all over. They wanted to do that in Nigeria. They try in Uganda. They try in everywhere. What happened? They were shut down. Like, we don't want them to be like Kenya. We forget these presidents are dictators. So do you think they want where they will not be safe? No. I hear a lot of Kenyans said write even emails. The CNC, you are one of them. Even though you do not write in person, the people wrote some letters. And the question they were saying was even not good. They were saying, we don't want Baba to go because he's leaving us with that dictator. So how do you want Baba to be in Kenya and you don't want to elect him as the president?
Who? It's not us. We don't want any of them. Either of them. That was not our message.
That's what I say. You know, when you say something like that, give somebody a good reason. If you want to, I'm fine for a seat, okay? One, I'm old. Second, I may not be competent. You give out my reasons. But you cannot say Mama Selina is old. Mama Selina refused to come and assist us to overthrow the government. You see, that is not genuine. Who want to? The only way we can withdraw a government is through ballot. If you want to change the parliament, it is the ballot. Yes.
Okay.
We mobilize. We fought. You get out. That is democracy. But the dictators, our vote doesn't count. Yes, tunasimama mapema. We come in the line, but they rig our election. That's another problem. But the constitution is, we are supposed to change harms for kura.
And what if it happens that we pick a leader and, a year or two down the line, we are not happy with what he's doing. And, as a people, we decide that we don't want to be led by him anymore.
Yeah, you have to follow the constitution. If you don't like a leader anymore, there are only two ways. Even in that seat of the president, when the president dies,
but the people shall.
You can impeach.
Yes.
There is that impeachment, okay? So if we are not satisfied and we convince our members of parliament, if you impeach a president, like you remember Jacob Zuma of South Africa?
Yeah.
Jacob Zuma was a president, yes?
Yes, he was.
And the party, his party, removed him from power. So, and that, they gave it to somebody else. That was, that one now is okay if the party can recall. Yeah, in 2 years, you are not satisfied with your president, okay? Then we impeach, or the party recalled, withdraw the support, withdraw the certificate, then you can no longer be the president, of which our Kenya cannot do that. But in Kenya, or even in any country, it is not in the law that we do coups. If you do a coup, that one is not democracy. So you are not satisfied with me, wait for 5 years, or party will withdraw his support and recall him. That you do impeachment. There is no other way.
Okay. Okay, but I think as a nation we need we need to cultivate of resigning, and when people have failed in their duties, in their respective duties that have been bestowed to them by either the people or leaders in elective posts. I think we need to cultivate a culture where people should resign. For instance, Moses Wetangula, the Speaker of the National Assembly, went ahead and declared Kenya Kwanza as the ruling party as the majority, although he knew that it wasn't. He acted unconstitutionally. I think if he were living in a decent country, that will be grounds enough for him to
in
resign.
United Nations, in Europe, That
Yes,
is why you see the prime ministers, they resigned. If people are not kama watu hawacharitika na wewe, your party. So unless you say we keep powers to our parties, but also the parties are the briefcases. So unless we change again the Political Party Act and we follow, if now the Supreme Court and the churches are doing their work, they are doing the right thing the way we see now, then we shall have hope in our constitution that anytime any member of parliament, we were supposed, like, if the member of parliament is not, the consistency are not satisfied, we recall our member of parliament by some signatures. I don't know how much. If you want to recall your member of parliament, you have to sign some signatures. They have to go to IEPC, they verify, and then from there now, then you can recall your member of parliament. But you see, in Kenya, things like that cannot happen. So we need to follow the constitution. And well, now as in future, okay, let me say this. Things are really changing. We are in 21st century, yes?
Yes, we are.
And most of 21st century are ruled by 20th or even 19th centuries. A lot of people, your generation are not yet even ruling, You are being ruled. This is the generation that they know a lot of things. But again, they are majority. Let's say now, for example, in Kenya, if we need to go for election today, who are the majority? The youth, the young people. The young people from 40 to 18, or even 30-something to 18. But does that count? No. One, the young people, the way you are telling us, I remember that, and that one has stick in my mind, that you say your generation will not vote a leader because they give them money. You remember when Raila, Martha Karua, and the youngsters of those days, they refused opposition of those time. They went to parliament. They were not majority because they never believe in money. So if your generation today can agree to have a president or even member of parliament without money, you don't buy, they don't buy your votes. But you are the majority, unamwambia lete yangu 500 or 1,000 and you sell your vote for 5 years. You don't have a right. But if you can elect a poor person, as he has knowledge, he can lead you from the ward, from the MCA. Let's say, for example, you elect a right MCA. You come to parliament, you elect a right leader, not because of money, not because he's corrupt, not because he's rich. No, you elect a leader. You tell this person, we don't need your money, we need the services. You are our servant. We employ you. So we don't need your money. We will give you our vote. That person will go to parliament really listening to you. Kwa sababu mumemploy. Same as to governor, same as to the president. He goes round and you guys, you say no. Like the way I saw Isholo some time today. If you shout, and that shout is a protest vote, ya youth ya kwamba don't lecture us, we need services, and when it comes to election, you have your voting card. You know, we are 10 elected. We want president. We are 10. I see Lala is here. I want to finish. So when we come in the ballot, between Mama Selina, Lala, you, and somebody, you say, okay, among these people, when Selina was in university, he was doing something. Was he corrupt? When Reverend Lala was a pastor, and now he want to run for president, was his church? Was he a good leader? Even you maybe you are a university student. Were you corrupt? Did you lead well? We need to go back to those days that you see somebody from as young as he was. And then we will get the right people. And then now you guys will stood by the constitution like, okay, you are in office for 2 years as the president. We don't need your services. We can recall you. You can resign. He will resign because he went there without using his money. Let me leave it there because I see you have Reverend Lala.
Thank you, Mama Selina, for that submission. Reverend Lala, good evening.
Good evening, wapendwa. Mama Selina, it's good to see you, Douglas, and the rest of you behind. I think I came in but I had to step out because I was needed for an emergency. Otherwise, I'm happy to see all of you. I have not been following the discussion here today, and maybe let me hear what's going on, Douglas.
Maybe I can just brief you quite fast. Earlier we were just having a conversation, and we're just sending our condolences to the family of Leonard Mambo Mbotela, who passed on this morning. Maybe just for about
yes, let me, I can comment on that. Okay. First of all, our deepest condolences to the family of our hero, the late now Mambo Mbotela. There's no Kenyan that has not been impacted by that voice for a long time. And I think these are the people who should be named after certain streets. Maybe VOK should be given those names, names like Mbotela, because here is a real, true hero. I'll send a condolences to his family, especially in Mombasa, Kisauni. I grew up there, knowing them. Freetown is my follower, graduated from Freetown. I graduated from Kisauni myself. So these are the families we knew, beautiful family. If the little history of the Mbotela, the father, Mbotela, was actually a freed slave. He was those ships, British ships, basically found him in the high seas, was being taken by the Arabs, and was freed, and they were settled in Freetown in Mombasa. And so that is the little history of the family. And also the father, Mbotela, was worked with the church, the Anglican Church, CM, Church Mission Society, Bishop Hannington. He was the one who traveled with him in some of his missionary trips. That's the father. And it happened that while I was in Maseno High School, I lived in Huntington dormitory. So we have something again in common with the Mbotela family. And so our deepest condolences go to them. Also have other connection with them through marriage in my home. My son, that is his uncle. And so condolences to the people of Freetown, people of Kisauni, the people that have lost a son, a giant. Sometimes we don't do justice to the memory of such men and women who contribute a lot. We only wait for politicians. Those are the ones getting all these accolades, but not the true heroes like Leonard Mambo Mbotela. I think for me as a clinician in psychology, there's no better person who has uplifted the spirit of Kenyans. If they are sad, his voice would soothe a nation, whether in sports, whether Jehu Nyongwana, that's a legend sound. And so we've lost a true giant, and I think the flag should have been half-mast because this was an ordinary Kenyan, a broadcaster who contributed greatly to the nation till his death. So that's my word for the family. Our prayers will be with you as you grieve. I will get in touch with some of the members of the family and hear what's really going on in terms of arrangement. So that's my my word of condolence. Back to you, Douglas.
Thank you, Lala. We say, may his soul rest in peace. He was a true legend of the craft, and a legend of in our country. Now, onto the conversation I was having with Mama Selina. Now, 2 years ago, Speaker of the National Assembly declared Kenya Kwanza Alliance as the majority alliance in Parliament. But that was erroneously, and today the court ruled that he was wrong, and he acted unconstitutionally, and it declared that null and void, and it also declared that he should not be speaker while at the same time being the and lead Ford Kenya party. That too is unconstitutional. So we're just having a conversation. What does that now mean for Parliament and our legislation, and also the past, all the legislations that have happened within the 2 years? If you can just help us deepen the conversation and understand what that means for our legislation.
I need to say something. Douglas, there are things that makes us really worried and also very angry and very sad. When it comes to constitutional matters, there are things that require urgent action because they are so obvious in the law. And for us to live with them and then come and make decisions when they have already done so much damage, it is actually malpractice on the part of our judges and lawyers and others. There are things that are critical. Okay, I've seen that happen in the US. There are certain matters that have to be taken up seriously and quickly. These are the cases where it's like what we have seen happening, where we know something is wrong. It doesn't have to take, I don't know how many years. These are things that would require an emergency meeting of the Supreme Court to decide on those matters quickly before they bring so much damage. When a political party, we know they were not supposed to be majority, yet because the politicians want it that way, and the Supreme Court and the judges is there, allowing that illegality to continue on, and then we come at the end, it was illegal when already damage has been done. I think that to me is a travesty of justice, and it is really immoral, and it should never happen. I think there are things that should be done immediately. The other point that I want to raise here is we talked about, I think you talk about certain decision, election. I think you guys talk about election. You see, election in Kenya are, I don't know whether we have any, because first of all, it's about bribery. We bribe our way, and then we elect wrong people. When we already have a very good justice system that is cultural, that is within each one of those tribes we have in Kenya, when we elect an elder in the village elder, okay, someone to sit and judge matters in a cultural context, we go for the wisest older person, somebody who has not stolen from somebody. We look at them, and we know very well, even those of us who are not even Christians in our traditional understanding, we know that God will not be happy with people who have done something. If somebody has killed somebody, there's a curse on them. We don't even go there. But then when people are educated, called educated people, the LLB and lawyers and all that, then we do the opposite. We do the opposite. When we know that even in the Western world, they don't even do that. In our cultures, we don't do that. But then here, trapped in the middle, so-called intellectual, then we do just the wrong thing. We do illegal stuff. We know corruption, we are corrupt. Then really we have got no excuse here. So to me, our election, we don't need to be taught by anybody. Our cultures can teach us, because we know people who get leadership in our communities. They're people who qualify from, that's the tradition, from traditional perspective. Yani wale ambao wazee ambao wana hekima, wale watu ambao wajaidia watu wengine si wezi, tunafanya wawe village elders. Lakini kama inakuja politicians, sasa we go for thieves. We go for people bribing other people. I've never heard of a mzee in the village as bribed to become an elder, okay? Or one of those older people. We go for the best in our communities. And that is true with my culture. So I think sijui kama tumerogwa, sijui tuna nini. So when I hear court making such rulings, which were quite obvious from step same day, then I would simply say, ole wenu. Mkiwa na people like Comey and others as the wise people, because those are the so-called you refer to them as the learned lot. But what are they learning for? Learning how to steal from us, how to nyanyasa, so that we don't think for ourselves, we just follow, and then we become a laughing stock of the world. Wanatucheka, tunachekelewa tu. Now, so, let me just veer a little bit. Let me talk about AU. Just stepping in a different, giving a different twist to it. Look at what's going on in the US, okay? I think Trump commented on sending the Asians back, okay? The Asians are legally here because they were brought in here in the US here, but they're supposed to be taken back. The Africans tend to be the ones that are getting the blunt of some of this deportation, especially, Black Africa. Of course, the Asians are part of it, but Africans are really having it rough, okay? Now, if we look at Africa, and Baba is going to be the chair of AU, okay? And imagine these African leaders come together and say, No more sending out our precious mineral resources till we get a share, a value that is fair, till we demand some of these minerals to be upgraded here. We use them for our own. In other words, we can sell them, but after the value has been added to them, okay. If Africans can do that, do you think Trump would be behaving the way he's behaving? No. So the power that we have, we are not using it correctly. And so my prayer for Baba, let people pray for him that when he goes there, he would have an agenda to put us together as Pan-Africanists, some of us who are, that Africa should be able to think collectively as one, so that we can be able to speak, can be able to deal with the rest of the world from an equal footage. And let's see what will happen to our economy, to our people that needs their lives changed, because right now what we see is horrible. Kagame just spoke of seeing a country with mercenaries. You saw them get out of Goma. They look big, they look scary, and all those people came with guns and bombs to kill who? To kill Africans. They are not here, they are not getting out there for no reason, but to kill Africans. For what? For our resources. That's what they're interested in. They're not interested in saving our lives. In fact, the more we die, the better, because the land will be free so that they can come and collect what they're looking for. And then Africans are busy there condemning this person or the other, condemning Kagame, condemning Tshisekedi and all that, without thinking of what is at stake here. Because this thing has been going on for a long, long time, but the interest has been the natural resources from the rest, for the outer world, from the continent.
But,
okay? So
let me interrupt you a moment.
It is critical for AU under Baba to start thinking about the plight of Kenyans, of Ugandans, of all of Africans. And I'm telling you, that is the winning way forward. Back to you, Douglas.
Thank you, Lala, for that. Although you've digressed from the topic, but anyway, I just have one.
I wouldn't have time, so I wanted to add to that. I think they were kind of related. Thank you.
Yes, from Selena.
Reverend Lala.
Yeah.
We talk about the outcome now, kwa sababu kotini wameamua ya kwamba the speaker aliingia, kwa hiyo alikuwa elected wrongly with minority. Now, because of Azimio are still saying they're in opposition and they're at the majority, we would like to know, will Wetangula still be the Speaker of Parliament, or they will have another election? And because of this unity going round now in the government and some people, nini inaweza fanyika, Reverend Lala? Yes, you say it is too late, and we agree it is too late. And I told Douglas, the Chief Justice of Republic of Kenya was the one, he did that mistake because he allowed it. And I remember in Parliament, they were shouting, and they were given 2 minutes to debate, or 3 minutes. And when they say, what do we say that? The majority have it, and it was wrong. It was like, yes, have it. And when you hear the shout, it was the no's have it. So what will happen now? Yeah, before we go to other things, can we talk about Wetangula and the Speaker for Senate? Because I know they are minority.
Asante, I'm just getting to introduce Mama, but
yes, Lala.
I said it's late because these are things that should have been handled much, much earlier, but of course it's been done correctly, that something went wrong. Right now, I think if it's a constitutional issue, they got to do something about it. something has to be done. I mean, they can't just let it go. Yeah.
Okay, just to add on the question that Mama Selina, the concern that Mama Selina had for you, my question is, okay, now because this is a decision by the Court of Appeal, they're obviously going to take up the matter at the Supreme Court, and I think we can now all agree that the Supreme Court is compromised. So we don't know what to expect from there. But anyway, just going
but
by
that if it has been made, it's binding unless somebody goes to court to court and to stop it. Have they gone already? I'm just listening, hearing it now. Right now.
No, it's Azimio went to court, I think 2 years ago, but it has taken the court 2 years to declare the ruling. They just passed the judgment today. Yes.
See, Douglas, that's the reason why I made that statement, that there are things that are urgent. These are something that should have been done that week to make a decision, because it is a constitutional matter that is so serious. But thank God it's been done. It's late though, but still they got to figure out how to implement it. Yeah, I don't know what can be done at this moment.
But my question is, okay, for someone like you who's had the opportunity to exist within a system that actually works, and it has institutions that actually work, isn't it ironical and dysfunctional to have a speaker who moves around the country, pushing for the policies that are being tabled by the current government, the ruling government? Should the speaker be impartial to the laws that are before Parliament?
I agree with you, Douglas. This is why it was something that should have been done at that time before even Wetangula get into that office. It should have been stopped till that is clarified. But you see, the executive has the upper hand in. So they talk about the three branches of government were equal. They are not equal in Kenya. It is the executive who decides on what needs to be done. So it was their will to be done. Otherwise, judiciary should have stopped the whole thing. The time that thing went to court, that should have been the time that they wait for the ruling on that particular issue before it goes forward. But here it is after 2 years. What's the purpose? It's oxymoron. It's sad.
Thank you, Lala, for that. Now, Mama Selina has her mic open. Mama Selina, do you have anything to add?
No, I just Lala is saying, Lala, there was this guy from IPC that the whistleblower that he actually give us the numbers. And then now I asked Douglas, and then Kashakwa, he came out and say, we really ipa kura ya baba. And then now the court is coming out to tell us Wetangula is not supposed to be the Speaker of Parliament because KK was the minority party in Parliament. So all these things coming out now.
They're coming out now, Mama.
Itatokea
wakati huu ndio nasema we are very dysfunctional kwa sababu haya maneno in a true democratic society where there's a rule of law, these are things settled before the next stage. Lakini sisi tunafanya nini? It's like the laws are not for us. The laws are for somebody else. It is sad because it's not protecting us. It's not protecting you and me in Kenyan setting. So if we have judiciary, but it is not working correctly, those things should have been settled then, that time.
So Douglas was telling me, okay, his thought, and I think he speak of majority of Kenyans, that, okay, now, Baba, is in OAU, akianguka, that is not my word. You know me, I support Baba. And I don't want even it to come from my mouth that I sleep and think Baba we lose. I know he's a winner. I know he has almost 28 countries and more. So that OAU thing has gone. But now to Takla say, if Papa come back now and all these things are out, he will come and have a strong opposition or something. But I told Douglas that even though Baba is there, he can also mobilize. If he is the chairman of OAU, he will not want a country where will not follow the rule of law, because he wants other countries also to follow the rule of laws of their countries. So I was telling Douglas, you don't assume Baba unless you hear him talking, because he say Addis Ababa is just around the corner. He may come and strengthen our democracy in Kenya. That's what I was thinking, because I know Baba, in 10 days, Baba we will try to know where are we going to celebrate. Thank you. I kick myself out. Oh no. I'm sorry.
What's happening?
I think I kicked myself out. Let me see.
No, we can still hear you. We can see you.
We can see you.
Okay. Oh yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the most frustrating thing about Kenya, because you see, even when you run for an election, it's very, very expensive. Very, very expensive. Okay. In Kenya, for an MP, it's very expensive. Okay. And when you know that you spend such amount of money, you mortgage your home, you take time from your, resign from your job, people that have joined in and given you support, and it's not easy. The dangers you've gone through, all the challenges that you go through, it's not easy. And for you to see your vote stolen, okay, stolen, and when you try to demand your supporters killed, and it's happened over and over again, I mean, then you want this person, or to believe in the system, that is work for him next time. Sometimes I understand Baba, okay, because the system, we don't want to change, we don't want to demand our rights, okay, and we end up compromising and doing all these things, and then we expect somebody to be the saint Baba, okay. To me, I think Baba has never changed. It's never shifted at all. It's just the situation where he thought, maybe I can make some contribution before I leave in this particular place. But Baba's heart is still there. I believe if Kenya is in a bad situation and you want Baba back to claim, I think he will listen to the voice of Kenya, because he has always done that. So I've got no problem with Baba, where he is. I have questioned in so many ways, because Ruto is still there with this group, with this team, and with all these decisions that are being made now. But at the end of the day, it is on all of us as Kenyans, knowing the system that I mentioned, that at a local level, at a tribal level, as a traditional level, we want fairness, and we always demanded fairness. But for some reason, we become barbaric, we become a laughing stock at a level, MP level, presidential level, and all that. That's where we become bad. We are earning bad name for African tradition, which the gods wanted fairness, and people lived, life that they want to do right for their neighbors and their friends. And even the tribal issues that were there in Africa in the past, it was about either fighting for land, and sometimes people don't know each other, but on a personal level, people work together, they live together, they intermarry, and it's always been that way. In fact, it's very, very hard to get a group that are pure. If you go through their blood, there's always somebody somewhere. So all these things that the West and others think of us as Africans, we are not developed enough. We are still evolving. Some of them think of us that way. It is brought to us by this elite, this middle class, these people called educated people. This are having problems. So let us face the reality and do that which is right. And for Baba, you are going to the right place, and we are behind you 100% to give us the Africa we want, Africa we need. And you can do it if you can work on those countries. We think together collectively and deal with the West and with the East from a strength, because what has happened in the past has not worked for us. There's so many deaths, so many diseases. If look at the USA, if US does not give us, we are begging when we are actually very rich. Okay, so there's some things that must be done at a continental level. It gives us a big leverage. It gives us a stronger voice. But right now, you let Gambia and US sign a treaty. You know who is in charge. Okay, you give Kenya and US is in charge. But if Baba can represent us and speak for all the minerals in Congo, and speak for the South African gold and diamond, and speak for the West African oil and others, and say this is Africa, I'm telling you, our economy will go up because the value of our stuff will go up. Our children will not be abused in the Arabian Peninsula. I saw Bradley, I don't know if that video is true, being sexually, teased out there. Okay, we don't have to go out to face that kind of ridicule as Africans because of our color of our skin, because of who we are. God has blessed us, and we can keep what we have and develop it. Wakanda forever. Thank you. Back to you, Bernard.
Douglas.
Yes.
Is it a wake call for 2027? All this is happening. Is that what is like, okay, ya Kiswahili, nyinyi Waswahili munasema maji yakisoleka yawesi, maji yakimwatika yawesi soleka. So already the 2022 yawesi soleka. So is this thing preparing us for 2027? Can we now get the right things? If it is Supreme Court, if it is the courts, if it is the political parties, if it is us, voters, who are we electing? Is it a wake-up call for 2027, or we want to stuck in 2022 without thinking that we only have 2 years? And what should we do? And what are the civic education that we need to get so that we cannot go back to where we were in 2022? Because now it's 2025.
Okay. Okay. I thank you, Mama Selina and Reverend Lala. But I've always held an opposing view when it comes to the topic of Raila Odinga. And I speak this with utmost respect for history. I recognize that there are people who've come before us. Okay, when I speak of us, I mean we, the young people. There are people who've come before us, and there are people who fought for independence. There are those who fought for multi-party democracy and the freedoms that we enjoy today. But I've always been, I've been saying that in the current, political dynamics that we exist in today, Raila Odinga is the biggest impediment to democracy. So when someone says that Baba will come, and when anyone says that Raila will come and help strengthen our democracy, I'm always a little bit cynical, so to speak, because he holds so much influence and power within our politics, so much that when he decides something, it automatically becomes it goes without question. So for we the young people, last year we went on a clamor for real change, and we ignited hope amongst even the older generations, and you people can attest to that. But we did not go to the streets so that people will get jobs, and we've been seeing people cabinet reshuffles, and people being appointed to parastatals and all these jobs, and seeing those things happen after we lost our comrades, and abductions have been going on, and we were this close to bringing real change into this country. It's kind of painful. So when someone tells me that this person is to me, Baba is just a custodian of that system that we keep talking about. How can we do away with it? And until we do away with that system, we'll just keep getting these same political leaders that are here. We'll still have a corrupt judicial system that we cannot really rely on to fix our laws and to uphold the constitution. We will have institutions that aren't really working. EACC, IEBC. It's almost the next election cycle, and we still don't have an electoral commission, and the system is designed that way, to be dysfunctional. And we have some of these politicians who've been around for so long, and they act like power brokers and custodians of that system. It's designed to exist that way so that some people can retain their power. But that's just my view.
Douglas,
yes.
have you, as young generation, have you sit down and ask yourself why this Baba has a lot of followers and people believe in him? It is because what the values it stand for. Baba, let me say this, as young generation now, you need to have like what Raila stand for. That is why he has followers. If he says something, people will listen. Raila is not buying people. Raila is not using a 5 cent to buy people. But the stand, what he has done for this country in difficult times, where there were old people and there were young people like you now. If the time you come out as JNC, before you are there, Baba was there. Baba was in the street with a lot of people. We did not hear about JNC that time. Well, you came out as young people and say, Baba, we don't need you. Stay away. We are here. We are doing our job. You go out there. You did your job. Did Baba come out and say, JNC, stop? He asked the people, like, what is the way forward? What do you want? Now, people are looking at like, okay, all these people are getting jobs because of us. Do you know, in that, today, imeonekana ya kwamba Baba won the election. He had majority. It is only he was robbed. And because he did not want to use the same sword that Ruta used in Supreme Court, he leave it. Now, people are bitter in once. One thing they have done, one, Raila have seen how many being even in jail. Hata akuweza kusika mama yake. he was not suffering because of himself. Baba macho yake moja inalianga. Why? Kwa sababu aliteswa. Can I ask you now, as TNCs, that was your first trial. You still have more to go until you get to where Raila is. Do you even have a strong voice? Do you even have a leader that he can say, okay, let me die because of you? No. So, Baba, watu wanamufuata, wanamupenda, and they wait on him. I remember I hear people in Addis Ababa, the young people from other countries, they say, Raila, you are our father because you are an Africanist. You have stood for our Africa, not Kenya. Kenya is a piece of it. Do we even see why this man is loved? Amefanya nini? Achaonga mutu. Douglas, today and tomorrow, your young generation, be in the right side. Ukue na msimamo. Raila amekuwa na msimamo kali sana. He is not a sellout. Akisema no, it is a no. If Raila say yes, it's a yes. But you guys, why did you want to climb on court of Raila? Why do you want to say Raila stop us?
Okay, can I interrupt you, Mama?
No,
Mama
let me
Selina.
ask, how did he stop you?
Okay, umesema okay, during the just a moment, Lala. I'll allow you to just a moment. I just wanted to interrupt her a bit. So during the protest, he came out and he said no dialogue, and everyone was saying no dialogue. Kalonzo was saying no dialogue. Then all of a sudden there was a dialogue that actually happened, which gave birth to broad-based.
But Raila is the one he told us. He told Kalonzo, aliuliza Kalonzo in front of everybody. Kalonzo, you call me Kalonzo and say, Baba, come here. Did you hear that? Ulisikia Raila akimuuliza Kalonzo, I was not here. You call me. Who was negotiating for this ile ilikuwa inaitwa nini? Partisan talk. It was Kalonzo, and and Baba came out and said, Kalonzo, you are the one you called me, and I came in. But apart from that, Baba alisema hiyo. Where is Kalonzo today? Who is Kalonzo supporting today? Who is Kalonzo working with today? Peter Raila alisema, let's talk. And he stood and he knew Ruto is a bad person. But Kalonzo alisema is opposition, end of the day, is sleeping with, dancing one song with Kashakwa. That is why Baba is the winner.
Okay, it might not look like it right now, but Kalonzo is on the right side of history.
For what?
Yeah?
For what?
Okay, history will be written about everything that happened.
No, I'm asking, Kalonzo is in the right side of working with Kashakwa, or trying to withdraw Ruto, or trying to do what?
Okay, it's bigger than Gachagua and Gachagua being impeached.
Kalonzo was supposed to be leader of opposition. He's supposed to be the president. Gachagua is coming to say Jubilee, they have worked with Kalonzo. I don't want even to talk about them. Now he's singing a song like, oh, Matiang'i is coming. Let me tell you. I want to talk about Baba and other important things of Kenya than talking with those people. Somebody like Alonso that he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know where he's going. I will not be part and parcel of that. Let me stick on Raila and Kenyans and what is coming out now. For those sellout cowards, let's see where will you reach with the cowards, the one they start in the right side of Kenya now. Let it come to 2027. Kalonzo is going to State House night and wait. You will see Kalonzo When he's not a black bearer, he will not support Matiang'i, even if you go down in the river and wake up. But I don't want to go there. I just want to say this. Baba, yes. You came out, yes, JNC. Who stopped you? Did Raila say JNC don't go out? No. You tell him don't come out. You did not send him to be a politician. You were not there when he stood for the right side of the country. He fought his fight. Mpaka anaitwa Baba. You are the young generation. 18 years, 20 years, 30 years. Do your work as young people. Work like the way Raila did when he was a young person. He was not old when he came to politics. He was young. Can you do what they did? The Orengos, the Matipas, Itobu Imanyaras, the Mata Karuas started from there. They did not blame anybody. One word, you fight for one thing, only one. You are crying up to today. You don't have even way forward. Way forward is Raila, Raila, Raila. Thank you.
Thank you, Baba Selina. Lala? I've really taken.
I'm glad that we are having this debate because it is important. And let me say some few things here. When we talk about Baba, we're talking about a man whose life embodies the Republic. And that is no doubt. We will talk about why we are even sitting here and talking and discussing what we're talking about. We have the Constitution, the new one. We have a devolved government. Each part of Kenya is getting some benefit from the central. We're talking about this man. When we talk about those that are meant bad for the country, almost killing the country. See, when you control the instrument of power, it means you, all armed forces and others are under you. Whether you are a Kibaki, whether you are a Kenyatta, whatever, you're Uhuru, you control that power. And you can use it to bring havoc. If Baba did not stand in the middle to look beyond his own personal greed and need and see Kenya and make certain deals, we would not probably be here. We would be like a failed Somalia place. Here is a man who is willing to sacrifice himself for the sake of greater Kenya. And history will simply say that because we know exactly what took place, what happened. This is a man who has won several times. And even the last time he won and asked people to resist and put things in order, Kenyans failed Baba. It is all of us failing Baba. And so here we are, the Gen Z uprising. The Gen Z to me was simply a department of Baba. Okay? They ran on the shoulder of Baba because there's really nothing much that they have done for the country. All the forces, whatever used, Baba already gave it to them. And that's why they were talking about Baba Weweka tufanye hii kazi. But then when you look at Kenya, where were we taking the country to? Leaderless? What was the alternative? You look deeply and you realize that, yes, Gen Z, we appreciate what you did, but the alternative was actually more scary. It's like when South Africa, Mandela is in prison negotiating with de Klerk and others. There are many South Africans say this is a sellout. It should not. Let African take over. And we know if Mandela did not midwife that transition, South Africa would have been a place like Congo, a failed state, because there are people who are outside trying to get in and black fighting against themselves. We would have no country. He was willing to sacrifice his own prestige, his own standing to bring forth a nation out of a place of chaos. We are all scared what would happen. Baba has played a role similar to that. And that's why if we only judge him on one thing, that actually we look at a bigger picture, is actually a very vicarious type of an act for the sake of the nation. We'll be making a big mistake. Baba gave us a chance to put things right because we clearly saw him winning. And we see external forces joining Ruto, America and others, which actually put the country at stake. Okay? And tactfully, he's acted, but we know where his heart is because we've lived with him. He's not somebody from somewhere else that we don't know. And here we are being asked to go with Gachagua, and then Baba, we can't trust him. And these other people are more important than Baba, yet he has a track history. So I don't know who is educated here. You know, you may disagree with one thing or the other, that the decision that was made. But looking at it, if you are a good student, a critical thinker, you're able to see the nuances of directions that and that's within that the whole the whole debate. Okay, so I think history will be very fair to Baba. Okay, history will look at the entire picture and give us what was it that Baba was fighting, what kind of decision he was making, what were they meant to achieve. Clearly, what we have here, let me say this, the country was at stake, okay? Things were bad. Baba looked beyond the little small minds that interested in power and greed and all that, and look at the bigger picture and say to himself, you know what, let's fight this battle, but use a different tactics. I don't think Baba and Ruto are like this, because people want you to believe that Baba is still gonna be Baba. Okay, just like Trump, people thought he was a different, but it's still Trump, the same Trump. So it is critical for us to be able to step back and look at the entire picture and see where we are, and look at what's going on. I think the fight has to continue on. The youth, the Gen Z's got to fight, and all of us got to fight. The prize is not been won yet, and Baba is with us 100%. Actually, still, we can still claim him as our leader. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Lala. But I have a concern. You know, I fail to understand when people say the country was on the verge of destruction and whatnot, because initially our clamor for change was a peaceful one. You know, it was constitutional. You know, we would go we were acting based on the provisions of the constitution. We were not going to the streets to try and overthrow the government. Initially, it was very peaceful.
If it was constitutional, then what you could have done was the constitution should have given back to Baba, because he's the one who won the election. Because the things were so wrong in so many areas, to the point.
Okay, Lala.
Look, hold on, because I have to challenge you there. When we look to say constitutional, what Ruto was supposed to go, Gachagua takes over, okay? All right, and then there was Gachagua got to go, and then who takes over? Maybe the speaker. If speaker doesn't go, military takes over. Okay, so there was no clear path to what we are doing. Okay,
Okay.
when you suggest anything else, so you see, the Gen Z was simply people, young people that were dissatisfied with the corruption, which we agreed 100%. But beyond that, there was nothing. There was
Okay.
nothing.
Let me just respond to that. Okay, so initially, okay, for us, we don't care. We don't care about any of them. We don't care.
That was the gamble. Yes, that was the gamble.
Okay.
So we are.
I don't know. You know, when we started, you know, the things that took us to the streets, it was the finance bill last year. There were laws that we didn't agree with. There were laws that we thought were extreme and oppressive. That is what took us to the streets. So the Constitution provides that if citizens see something in government that doesn't sit right with them, then they just take, you know, they take the power, because the sovereign power lies with us. So we go to the streets and we say, no, we don't want this. And, you know, the people we elected into office, the people we donated the power to, have to listen to what the people are saying and you know, say, okay, this we've brought this, and you people have said that you don't want this. Then okay, we've listened, and that is what we did. The thing that, you know, brought about that so much anger, and it culminated to storming into parliament and starting it, was them refusing to listen to the voice of the people. Okay, the people are peaceful, they are acting within the constitution, but you know, the arrogance that existed in government at that point is what stirred up the anger
and we
within us.
agree that was wonderful. Yes, it was good. Yes,
to the point where it got. Now it became personal, that you people have showed us the middle finger, and you know, you've decided that you know, whether we are okay or not, you're still going to do what you want to do, because you're government, and you have parliament, and you have the, you know, you have the judiciary, and you are invincible. You cannot be stopped. So we are going to show you that we are the people, and you know, we put you there, and we can still pull you down, because we are the people. So it got to that point. It was us versus them. So the thing that gets us angry with Raila is that he was not the one who started the revolution or the uprising. You know, what right does he have to come and
Douglas, when Baba was in the street about election, so Gen Z was not there. They did not participate. You did not care at that time that our election was rigged. And then Baba was in the street. No, wait. They were in the street how many times? Almost.
Yes,
yeah. So when he was in the street with a lot of Kenyans, they lost life the way they insisted. And when Rikichi wake up at 5, go to Arambe House, order for the killings of Kondele, people in Kondele. They take people from their houses. And when Baba went to mortuary and see a lot of bodies, he cried and tell Orengo and the rest, enough. And he stopped. He said, there will be no more coming out. Let us do it the other way. He get a lot of pressure from international community, from African Union. Why are you taking the country? We don't want Kenya to collapse. Then Raila sacrificed as a presidential candidate. They stop it. no, it was almost 1 month or 2 months. Now, the finance bill, opposition, Azimio, they fight very hard in parliament. And that is where I was telling you, they were given 2 minutes to argue in parliament. And they refused that finance bill. You remember? Now the CNC come out. You come out fighting for finance bill. Not the rigging of election, not what has happened in the country. You had your interest. That is why hata leo unatuambia we don't care. You care what you wanted on that time. Did you care about our country? Did you care that what will happen after, in case you win or something happen? Did you care that our country can be taken by military, or a wrong person somewhere there can come and lead us? So you do not care, and that is why even you don't care. As CNC, that is what you have told us today. You don't care. You don't care who could have come out. But umesema, as CNC, we don't care. Yes.
Not really. What I meant.
I'm following what you tell us.
Okay.
And Raila, when he was out, he was out there with young people. I don't want to call them CNC, but for me, they were CNC. Because he has a lot of support from young people, by the way. They listen to him. Now, the young people, I don't know, the young people was with Raila. Do you call them CNC or no?
Who?
Or CNCs are the one they come to fight. I want to understand that.
No, those were Kenyans. They were not young people, Gen Zs or what. You know, when you group us.
So Raila was with Kenyans, yes?
No, when you group us, when people keep saying our children, young people of this country, and whatnot, you know, you downplay the efforts. It was not.
You now,
guys, I need to go.
With Raila, were they CNC or they were Kenyans?
Yes.
I need to leave. Asanteni sana.
No, Lala.
Let me.
Before you leave, I can be quiet a little bit. Before you leave, can you assist me to understand? Wale vijana walikuwa na baba, wale watu walikuwa na andamana na baba, were they CNCs ama walikuwa naitwa nane? So that during finance field, there is a group of young people, they call themselves CNCs, without believing that the young people who have been with Baba are also, I don't know, I want that clarification.
Let me
okay,
say
Lala, a moment. Okay, just hold that dot because you say you want to leave. I don't know if you can can you be around for about 5 or so minutes? I need to play the last bite, then I'll take. You can just. Is that okay with you?
Why can you give him chance and then you play the clip?
Go ahead.
No, I just want him to just bundle his thoughts together then, because he says that he needs to step out. Okay, let's take a look at this.
Now to some relief for people living with HIV. A number of employees working under programs funded by the U.S. government can breathe a sigh of relief after President Donald Trump's administration announced a limited waiver of the 90-day stop work order, allowing the resumption of some critical life-saving programs. Over 560 health workers who had been sent home in Homa Bay County have been asked to resume work immediately. The county chief officer for medical services, Dr. Kevin Osuri, has, however, confirmed that the waiver, which lapses on the 19th of April 2025, has left a huge staffing gap and uncertainty over the other programs that remain on hold. Sarfina Chiangoma reports.
At Homa Bay County Teaching and Referral Hospital Friday morning, A partial resumption of HIV-related services that were funded by the U.S. government is underway. A few employees who had been asked to stay home courtesy of the 90-day stop work order by President Donald Trump's administration have reported to duty. This follows the issuance of a limited waiver by the U.S. government, allowing critical life-saving programs to continue.
Tulipopata hiyo barua jana, kulikuwa na ile furaha kwa sababu unajua at least niko na kitu chenye nitapata mwisho wa mwezi.
An internal memo by the County Chief Officer for Medical Services, Dr. Kevin Osuri, clarified that only 4 categories of human resource for health have been directed to report to work with effect from 7th of February to 19th of April 2025.
We've brought back a good chunk of them, about 568. A number of them have not been approved for this waiver period. It's still a big shock and a big bump on the system, on the healthcare system.
A short relief, let me say so, because we do not know what will happen after the 19th of April.
Amidst the uncertainty, Dr. Usuri terms this as an opportunity for the country to bolster domestic health financing strategies.
Solutions from national government, solutions from agencies like COG and county governments to see what happens next in terms of if this waiver period ends. If it is not extended, then are we in a capacity to take up these services on our own and continue to serve our people?
Kisumu County's Chief Officer for Medical Services, Dr. Lucy Ojwang, has confirmed that plans to wean off donor funding have been underway long before Trump's executive order was issued. Dr. Ojwang stated in a statement that integration of HIV services in Level 2 and Level 3 facilities will continue. He, however, clarified that the waiver means that staff who had been affected by the executive order in the affected facilities will be back to work, but will be stationed in the outpatient department. The county plans to employ special strategies of averting instances where some persons living with HIV will fail to go for their drugs out of fear of being stigmatized. The limited waiver by the U.S. government temporarily resuscitates its landmark HIV and AIDS initiative under PEPFAR, which supports life-saving HIV care and treatment, as well as prevention of mother-to-child transmission services. According to a document released by the Global Health Security and Diplomacy, which is under the U.S. Department of State, activities approved under the PEPFAR 90-day limited waiver include HIV testing services for all populations, HIV care and treatment services for all persons living with HIV, laboratory support, supply chain management for procurement of HIV medicines and other commodities to prevent stockouts in national HIV programs. It also includes HIV pre-exposure prophylaxis, which should be offered only to pregnant and breastfeeding women during the pause of U.S. foreign assistance. People other than those who are pregnant and breastfeeding who may be at risk of HIV infection cannot be offered PEPFAR-funded PrEP until further notice. In the meantime, salaries for staff necessary to carry out the specific activities is also included in the waiver. Safina Cheng Oma, Citizen TV.
Okay, Lala.
First of all, we are so grateful that those that need the medication can actually get it tonight. So we're grateful for that. And I'm glad to hear that in Kisumu, they have other arrangements to meet the needs if there's a donation or whatever, the funding stops. I think this actually strengthened my contribution earlier that AU can be a very effective tool in terms of looking at the health of Africa, looking at what we can do collectively, how we can leverage our resources, our energies, our economies in a way that will benefit us. And so I'm happy to hear that. But also to let people know that whatever Trump did was almost illegal, or I'd say illegal, because this money was appropriated by Congress, and though he's allowed to make some changes, but not in the way that he did it. It's unprecedented, and it's the first time it's happened the way it did. So let Africa begin to think in terms of taking care of ourselves. The pediment is simply corruption and tribalism, and things like what we see happening with a judiciary system, where an obvious constitutional matter such as some blatant illegalities allowed to stay. This is now the second year. If you know, for Wetangula, it's now, I think, the second year as the speaker. And why would he stay all this time? It's like we are laughing at our system, because the term of office is almost ending. It's the middle, and then now you come with a decision we should have been there from day one. So we have a long way to go. Let's do something. But finally, I also want to visit the issue of where we are. When we claim that Kalonzo is on the right side, Baba is not, that kind of confusing, very much to Kenyans, and in fact, I laugh at what's going on. I think we are angry that Ruto is still in power, because he should not be there. Okay, he should not. He should go. But we must remember how he got there, and who put him there, and what kind of power he has there. If we can't even defend our young people on the street, getting killed, and we just forget them, then how do we expect even to get rid of Ruto? So there has to be other method, other ways to do it that can still not damage much of what we have, kill many people. And I think what is going on now, I think is a strategy that I think if we continue putting pressure, I think will give us some results, though it is slow. And finally, let me say this. Gaddafi was killed, and not by Libyans, but there are others who thought that Gaddafi was not good for Africa, calling Africa together, putting investment in Africa. So collaboration was done. And we are sure that Baba life was at stake. In fact, when JC came on the street, there was the marking on him as the one behind Gen Z. And so getting rid of him was probably necessary, could have been carried out. So let us look at our issues for what they really are. And something we don't know, let's step back, take a deep breath, and really pay attention. You can be hurt, you can be angry with certain decisions, but that doesn't mean you throw the baby on the bathwater. Baba has made a decision to go to Addis Ababa. Baba's never told us to stop, fighting. He's doing his side of fight, and we know where his heart is. And let Kenyans know that this is a fight that all of us are required to fight, and that the biggest failure was not even Baba. Not Baba, that is, was not Baba, but all of us as Kenyans, because we couldn't stand for basic, we were scared, we couldn't protect our own and get rid of this government because of either fear, because of self-interest, because of tribal stuff. And now we are supporting some people who are there calling for the killing of other people. All of a sudden now they have seen the light, we are behind them. Let us not be hypocrites. Let us stay on truth. And the truth is, yes, Ruto is not needed, but the Gachagwas and the rest are not needed, okay? And that the enemy of Kenyans is not on one side, but on both sides, and that we should go back to the drawing board and dig deeper into ourselves. If we can't defend democracy, then we are doomed. Because there's no point fighting for something, then you hand it over to thieves. And that's what we've been doing it over and over and over again. So let's fight as Kenyans, win it for Kenyans, and start a new nation. Thank you very much, Douglas. Thank you, Mama Selina. And thank you all in the background. Asanteni. I gotta go. God bless.
Thank you, Reverend Lala, for that submission and for your contribution to the our discussion tonight. Since you say you want to leave, maybe I'll release you. But yes, thank you for that. Okay, so Mama Selina, any
Yes.
your thoughts?
Yeah, it is relieved for our people. And remember I say, hii mambo ya madawa, hii mambo ya NGOs. The funders are in this country, and it is something very big. We may lose as Africans, and our people are sick, but where will they take this medication? If you stop them today, was it really for free? No, it is an exchange of something. So, and remember I told you, amejaribu kufunga mambo mingi pia huku. So there are giants, there are giants in this country too. Wanaweza mwambia, you are stopping this and we will miss something or this and this. So anyway, our people there, the government, they should think twice. They should not celebrate. Let us look for alternative. Unajua mtu anakupatia chakula leo na kesha anakunyima, how will you live? And to make the matter worse, people are in depression now because they don't know next course of it after 3 months. The fate of their lives, watakuwa wapi. So we want the government and the county governments and government, Ministry of Health, to look for other ways where they can get medication. So if they say continue, then the government will say, thank you, we have an alternative. Monopoly is so bad. So we want where, kama dawa inatoka US, ingine inatoka China, ingine inatoka India, so tunanunua or we receive, you see, kama wakati ya mambo ya barabara. The Chinese have won the hearts of Africa kwa sababu walikuja wakatengeneza the good quality of roads. Isipokuwa sisi wa Afrika tumeingilia na kutengeneza the bad roads. So for me, I want to tell our people, the county governments, for these 3 months, be ready. If they continue giving us, well and good, but if we are taking 10% or 100%, think of where you can get 30%, remain with 70, or get it 50-50. In case they stop this, you have where you can get your people be alive again. So nafikiria ni hayo tu. We thank God for that, but it is not only us. Haita affect watu yetu peke yetu. Na wale factories na wale wenye wanatengeneza hii dawa, unajua wanatuhusia, inakuja Africa and other poor countries. So hiyo tuseme hiyo factories, kwa hiyo wange lose, watapeleka wapi? And now the 3 months, anapeana, are they going to close where they produce hiyo madawa, ama wata reduce less ya kutosha watu yao, and then we miss it. So again, it comes like this. It is a wake up call. Tujaribu kutafuta dawa mali singine for these 3 months. I think that is what I can say. And about our other discussion, the Speaker of Parliament, they are supposed to serve 5 years or 2 years. If it is 2.5 years, then Wetangula is on a last term. So they are telling us because he is leaving, chuanamalisa term yake. So you see again, Constitution is not favoring us. The courts are not favoring us because I'm a serve already. And now he's leaving. Amemalisa purpose yake. So itasaidia wa Kenya kitu. The courts are coming out to tell us the truth in the last minute. Ni kama yale mtoto amesaliwa. You cannot kill that child. Kwa sababu already amelia chini yako, is alive. So hiyo mambo, we are anyway. Wacha tuone what happened. And I hear you say they may go to Supreme Court. And then from Supreme Court, that is where the hot air is. And that is where the big liar and the interpreter of wrong things doing, maybe he can save Wetangula because they are in the same club. That is what I can say today, Douglas. Otherwise, sijui kama uko karibu kumaliza.
Yes. Actually, we are closing now.
And where is Bernard, by the way? We miss his wisdom. You know, all these things are happening. We like you. Thank you for coming. But again, we miss the wisdom of Bernard with these critical things happening. He can even come and be with you if he doesn't want to moderate. But we miss him. We need the wisdom. We miss the wisdom of a man of God.
Yes. Actually, I'm holding the fort. Bernard is currently unwell. He's not in a position to host the show. He's unwell. The doctor recommended that he takes a break for a while. But he'll be back, obviously, stronger and once he's feeling well. So
I know he's doing a lot. He's sacrificing a lot of his time. Say hello to him, and we pray for him. We wish him quick recovery because we are in critical time that we need his advice too. But you are doing great. You're doing a good job. And we will be coming when we take time. We will be available for this show because I know a lot of Kenyans are listening us. We need wisdom from us and people in the other side, the listeners, and our brothers there. So kila kitu inasemekana, come 1, come 2, come 3, and we work together. So I think yale tunasema, tunarekebishana. We are trying to educate each other. And well, tunapata ideas. Like now here in US, tunaona what is going on in the world. Hawakukata aid from Ukraine na hawakukata aid ya kwenda Israel. And I'm wondering, for the first time, I thought Kasa anasema anataka kuchukua hiyo city ama that place called Kasa. I don't know, maybe itakuwa ni yake ama anyway, a lot is happening. Are we in the last days of the Bible? Because I thought Kasa ni kwa Israel, and Ama, we are free to live everywhere and take everything we need by force, by fire.
Okay, historically, that strip, I wish we could have someone who understands the politics. The Middle East, Missouri, that region is the
You would like
Middle East.
this, what is his name? Mohammed or something? Mohammed 77 or something. We would like him to tell us. Yeah, because I think Mohammed is
Muhammad.
Yeah, Mohammed is a Muslim. If he is, then I think he will understand, or maybe he's a Muslim of here, but we would really want to know what is the meaning of Kasa. And I remember when Donald Trump was president here, he took U.S. embassy, he put in a place. Do you remember? He put aliweka embassy sijui in that Kasa ama alifanya nini. There was something changed. The American embassy was moved from where it was to somewhere. I don't know. But for this, we are hearing now. So anyway, we don't know. The daughter is married to a Jewish man. So maybe my father-in-law also, I don't know. I don't know why it's even cut. I don't want even to talk. Now I understand I want to take it.
Yes, I saw that on the internet.
But he really said, see internet, he really said.
Yes.
There are some rumors, but that one was, but we are waiting to see, and the Prime Minister of Israel was here.
Well, Israel, yeah, of course. The Jews and Israel, the biggest allies, the United States, and there's so much to.
In America, the Jews are really controlling America.
Yeah.
Ni watu wachache, but they control the world.
Yeah.
Even they choose who can be the president of US. With all these thoughts you hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but on the issue concerning Gaza, the Gaza Strip, and who really owns it, I'll definitely do more research on that.
I wish Bernard was here. He could have told us thought Bible things.
And get the right information.
And
Next
then,
time when we have that
because
discussion, I'll have the correct information.
Because
I have bits of it, but it's scattered. I don't want to make to throw incorrect information around. But the next time we have the discussion, I'll definitely have the correct information in logical order. But I think at this juncture, it's a good thing. It's a good place to end it, Mama Selina, Donaje. I think we've exhausted our topics for today.
Yeah, thank you so much for today. And I think it is late, around 3.
Yes, it's 3:48 here.
Oh no, thank you. You need to. You are still young. You can still fight. You can
have the energy.
That energy. You still have energy. You know, you are starting now. Unajua sasa wewe ndio unaanza hiyo. Unajua you are the right person now to fight for your country. You can also call for 24 hours or even 72 hours because without sleeping, because you are fighting for the right of this country.
Yes.
But at least you need to relax and I know you have a lot of communication. I know your young people are listening to you too. And of course, that is why sometimes you don't want to go out there and they say you are a sellout because
oh me Who, me? No. Huh?
You know, this generation, they can come and say, oh, you know, because, you know, people don't understand calling. You know, being a pastor, it is a calling.
Yes.
Kukua
Yeah,
pastor is
definitely.
a calling. Being a politician, it is also a calling, a young leader. And okay, let's forget politician is something bad. A leader.
Yes, a leader. Okay. Yeah.
Kukua kiongozi inaonekana even in your household. Kama muko watoto 5, there is always a softy child. There is always a small boy or a small girl. She's sharp. Bring this, even though you don't want her to wake up, she can, if you say, I need water, you are not shouting for her to bring water, but she will be the one jumping and get the water. You say you need something until it's like the other children knows, oh, ata mama akitaka kitu, always dark glasses, they look at you to go and get it. So uongozi inatoka kwa mtoto akiwa mdogo. The arrogant child inaanza pia akiwa mdogo. So what I will tell you today as somebody, I've been there, not there like outside. I was in Moise. I sit. I was a young youth like you, very young, young girl. I was that Kanu youth. I happened to serve. I happened to sit with Moi. I even asked Moi questions that people could not believe. But I was always like, until people were like, where are this girl coming from? Why is he? And Moi would listen. I'm telling you, if you start ukiwa na msimamo. I was from Nandi. I went to Kabarnet. Moi was from Paringo, that is Tugen, and me as a Nandi. But I managed to be like a leader in that community now. Not being even a Tugen, but my name was somewhere there. That is where I start my leadership a little bit. Then I walked through those old people, Pilimon Chelakat. I was raised and I get closer to Moi. And then came Kibaki. I was with Mother Karua. So if I tell you today, you will wonder. A lot of people may not believe. Actually, I was among the young people from Nakuru that we went and visit Uhuru Kenyatta because Makto was the nominated member of parliament. Can I tell you, I sit with Uhuru in one chair for him to be nominated a member of parliament. Moi sent me and some group. Do you see this man, Kimani Ngonjiri? This man of Nakuru shouting about Uhuru, this. It was me and some youth and Kimani Ngonjiri. We went and meet Uhuru. I have sit with Uhuru like this. I thank God. I was with Moi. I came through Uhuru. I know Ruto even. And to Uhuru and then to Mata Karua. So most of the things that I say, I have seen in opposition. I have seen when I was in Kano. And now when the Mata Karuas, the Karumes, it happened that I was with those people. I know how most of the things that they did, the big people. So for you and the young generation, they want to be leaders. You need to identify young people. Like Kalonzo was picked by Moi. You know Temuli Mutisha? Kalonzo was picked as a lawyer and a young person to be a member of parliament. And because he did not call himself, the Mutavatis, they were picked because of the name of their fathers. Yeah? We have the Wamalwa. There are difference, like somebody like Sufuna, for example. Nobody picked him because of the father. He raised and he found himself there. The Orengos. We go back the same to Baba. If you hear Raila and Oburu Odinga, Oburu Odinga was the favorite of Baba Yake. He was a child. Raila was that child that Baba Yake was calling him a Simba. He can send him. He went through a lot to become what he is. So all these people, they are picked. They are not leaders. They came there purposely because of their parents. And that is why they cannot make strong decisions for themselves. Somebody like what do we call? Wachakoya. He raised himself. Can you see that difference? Somebody like Omutata is a son of who? You don't know even. But he make it by himself. So for the young generation, don't climb on somebody's, or don't let someone come and climb on you. If you are Gen Zs, build your house. Look for leaders in your generation. Who was a good leader in university? Who was a good leader in where? Who was a good leader in where? Let those people come out strong. But today, walking out and say, oh, Kalonzo is good because he's supporting us to fight Ruto. Oh, Kachakwa is good because he's now impeached and is telling us the truth. Can you even sit down and say, wakati Kachakwa aliapa, when he was in Kasarani, can you recall what he said? And the first 2 years, what he was saying? And then after he was impeached, why now? What was ni nini alikuwa siku ya kwanza akiapishwa Kasarani? What did he tell us? After that, ni nini alisema anafanya? Kuamuka 5 to do what? To kill. But Kenyans, because amekuwa impeached and because we hate Ruto so much, we agree all these devils that today even you can say, hey, Kachakwa can be our leader. If you ask the reason why, nini alifanya? Wakati alichakuliwa, kuna pesa kotini alikuwa amesema alichukua bila kujulikana. You remember that money? The corruption? When he was the deputy president, the money was recovered back to him. Is any Kenya talking about him that today? No. So, this country, you need to take it forward. All these old people will go, and you will remain. Patimbaya, unless, also young people can go, the old can stay. But we say chances. 90% the older people will leave. The 21st century. I want you to look at Uganda, okay? The young people from Uganda. The people they call foot soldiers. Can you see that generation of Uganda? That they come out. If you wear a parade, unashikwa na Museveni na unaenda chela. But we have a lot of them, like thousands. Until now, the army cannot take them to jail anymore. Because of what? They are standing for their right. they are being called foot soldiers in Uganda. The young generation, plus their leader, Jagulanyi, Bobby Wine. And they are stunting. They are telling the older people, we are the young generation. Now they are calling something, protest fought. They are raising up because wamefinywa, there is no jobs, wako na shida, but they come together. I wish the people power, they are using the constitution of Uganda, people power. They are taking their power, identifying in a party. They are not partyless. They identify with a party. And they identify with their generational leader. They protect him day and night. Can we do that in Kenya? No. We go for these 70-year-old men. They are almost retiring. Kalonzo is supposed to hand over to his son. Kachakwa has 3 beautiful sons. They are supposed to be your leaders. They were Malwas. All those old people, what are they doing? If Raila can go home, they should go home, all of them. If Ruta can go home, the young Rutas can be there running in the street with you guys. Have a good day. I know it is not night in Kenya.
It's
I like talking. I like talking when you are here because I see a reasoning of you. You can educate more young people to understand, not to be taken by wave, and tell your people to look at other countries. No, don't see Kenya as musijifungie Kenya too. Expand your ideas outside. What are the other people doing in other countries? What have they achieved? If you see that party of Bobby Wine, they had almost 100 members of parliament, and all of them were young. And they had nothing when they went to parliament because they associate with the party of young people. And they were young, and they were elected. Because, kwa sababu walisimama. And that is why they have worked. They elect without nothing. Members of parliament walichakuliwa pila kitu. They are not corrupt. Because the citizens wanawauliza tuliwachakua. And they are afraid kufanya makosa because they know they will be out. Can we do that in Kenya? Yeah, thank you. That's a story of another day.
Thank you, Mama Selina, for that, for those words of encouragement and wisdom and insight that you've shared with me and our audience tonight. Thank you for joining me in studio and just helping me dissect the topics that I had tonight. It's 4 a.m. in the morning. Of course, it's not day here in Kenya, back at home. Thank you, Mama Selina, and thank you all of you who've been with me so far. Maybe I'll just take a few comments that you had here. Breaking news: Donald Trump has removed security clearance for Biden by revoking his daily briefings and daily intelligence. That was, I saw that on the internet. That's breaking news from America. Raila did not ask the Gen Zs to stop the protest, but he collaborated with Ruto for the betterment of the entire country. I wish Raila all the best as he campaigns for the AUC chairmanship. He is the next chairman by the way. That's awesome. With his thoughts on Raila. I had this comment up. When we think this is a wake-up call, remember Ruto is not sleeping. That is still awesome. Again, check another comment. Big J, on a topic we had earlier with Lala and Mama Selina, this parliament ceased last year when Gen Z stormed it. We are currently being led by legal parliament. They are just doing it because they are ticks sucking everything from Kenyans. And I agree with that totally. The Parliament of Kenya was impeached by Gen Z last year. I think we rejected them. What is left is just to recall all those MPs. But we don't have an IBC, and it's designed to be that way. It's designed to not be there for such situations. What else do we have here? I think the top comments I had read them earlier. Tunei Muhammad, who says, Douglas, good job. Thank you for that. Okay, I had a poll question up. Do you believe the court ruling that Kenya Kwanza is not the majority will lead to more balanced legislation? 46 votes at the end of the poll. 59% of you think that ruling will say yes, and 41% of you say no. It will not lead to a more balanced legislation. So it's almost a tie, difference of 9% at the end of the poll. So thank you everybody who's been watching me up to this point, and Lala, who was here before, Tunu Muhammad, who helps me run the show from the background, and everyone who's made this possible up until this point, and just those of you who've been sending thoughts, yeah. Thank you for being part of this. Thank you for making Sound Candid Talk a reality and the Open Forum political show a success. We don't take that for granted. We appreciate that you make this a reality. Without you, then we wouldn't be here this far. And just as I know we might disagree on ideologies, we might disagree on the methods that we prefer to changing Kenya for the better. We might disagree with who we choose to follow, whom we choose to be our leader, whom we believe embodies the values and ideologies that will get us there. But at the end of the day, always remember that it is us against a corrupt system, and it's not us against us. It should not be me and who I believe in against you and who you believe in. No, at the end of the day, we want the same thing. We want a Kenya that works. We want our people to not be poor, our people to have services. That is what we all want. So at the end of the day, we should be able to sit down and agree. And yes, that is where we want to go. We may disagree on how to get there. We may disagree on who will get there. But at the end of the day, it's all about one thing: a Kenya that works, systems that work, institutions that are independent and they work, constitutionalism, accountability in government and our leaders. It's basically the same things. But one thing that I'm always against, and we are always against, is tribalism, negative tribalism. I think at this point, it's a good place to call it a wrap. Thank you once more for everyone who's been here with me. See you on the other side. Have a lovely night.
Sound Candid Talk Live News.